What is up, everybody? Hey, what's up, Blaze? How you doing, bro? Hey, what's up, Wakasan? Yeah, this I love the thumbnail. It's hilarious. We are continuing with the Armor Breaker Witch Hunter today. See if we can get it into Endgame. Exile.
This thing's still beating. Killing should be dirty and disgusting, not glorified. Let's see what happens.
I at some point want to do Giant's Blood. We just don't have the strength for that, like, at all right now, so that's kind of a pipe dream for the time being. I think we're gonna... Decisions to make. I have an idea of where I want to take the tree, though. We have plans. Alright, almost done with Act 3 and then moving on to Act 4.
Doriani. I've heard that name somewhere.
The intruder is here, out of Nahuatl. I see. No mercy then. Kill him on sight.
They're gonna regret taking Miss Fillet.
I used the heart. I got the passives. Or did I not? Pretty sure I just put in 3 passive points and 2 of them were from that. Crazy trying to prank me, I think. What's up, by the way, Crazy?
Clever bridge.
Fool! There is no time for this. Azeri will soon commune with the beast. Cease your assault. Stop this at once. I take no pleasure in harming one of my own. But if you
Another notch on
insist,
me helmet.
I will do with her what I must. So, the eve of the end, the doom of Atzoatl has finally come for me.
Enough talk. Show me what you got.
I've had enough of this. Ends justify the means. I can't give up. I must save my people.
You know why we're here! It happened! It cannot be stopped!
No, I will succeed. Let's see you survive this.
Just here for the lady. There's no need for all this.
Inconceivable. You will pay for this. Existed. I've been preparing for you for years. I planned for every contingency. No! Do not fear me. Not now.
Leap Sam's fun as a single target skill. I just wonder if I can get Armor Breaker's DPS a lot higher. I might have to ditch dual wield and use Armor Breaker with 2-handers. But it's just so fun using Armor Breaker this fast, you know?
Save the future.
The legacy of the Val
Hey, what's
must
up,
be
chicken?
protected.
How you doing, bro?
I do know of a way to contain the beast.
Let's just start talking
Continuing
now.
the Armor Breaker Witch Hunter today. Thanks, bro.
Just
Now
doing
then,
my job.
it is time we
I'm
departed.
fine with it.
Hey, what's up, Spectre? How you doing, man?
We'll see about it.
What is happening?
It begins.
What do we do? How do we get us through the gate?
I'm floating off the bed. The skin broke how I sleep.
For that, of course.
Dorian.
We... How can I... It's
All right,
not-
Act 4.
Doriani has one piece of an ancient weapon that can control corruption. The other 3 pieces lie somewhere in the count.
Nah, don't shave for the pot, because, you know, maybe I'm not married to the sash. Maybe one day I shave it off, so you know. You never know. Though, if all 3 of us were matching Viltrumite cosplays, then it would work out.
I'll set up
I suppose it's time. I'm off to... Do be careful out there.
come visit my shop sometime.
You're just gonna get Miso to grow a mustache.
It's her, no doubt.
The job's it.
Bye then.
You've got some goods in.
Maybe Miso's got a sleeper stash.
All the best.
We need to convince Miso to not shave for a couple months and see what shows up on his face.
Your business is your...
Let's see here. I didn't mean to go to Nagaku. I was trying to click something else on the map.
We made it. Yes? Where to?
Let's see here. Let's go to Shrike first. Yeah, I doubt he'd try. Peer pressure is a hell of a drug, though.
We made it.
I'm on it.
Let's go, Kanu. I got places to be.
What's your step?
Armor to break.
I left Nakanu before I was even old enough to find fire.
Hey, I appreciate it, Wacko-Sean. Wacko-san. Thanks, man. I love the podcast, dude. It is... I am so happy we started it. I can't believe we've already done 41 weeks of this podcast. That's just crazy to me. But yeah, it's very much what I look forward to every week. I love the podcast, and I think I got incredibly lucky, like, when we formed the podcast, like, me, Miso, and Rabbit, like, had never had, like, a conversation just the three of us, you know? Like, it had always been, like... I mean, I don't even know if Miso and Rabbit had really interacted together at all at that point. All that heavily. It was just, like, random messages to each other in Twitch chats, but I think we just all vibed with each other, and it had ended up being, Because, like, who knows how that could have turned out, right, you know? Three random people who have never hung out before. But yeah, I cannot wait for the next several weeks, man. Like, ugh. When 0.5 finally drops, it's going to be the best time ever. But I'm hyped for the lead up to it, just to be able to talk about all the stuff that's coming.
Who built a shrine on this cursed rock?
Agreed. It would have been a very different show with the original format, but the original format was also like, it wasn't supposed to be a weekly show. It was supposed to be monthly with that format where Tri was the host and like there was no guests. But then we ended up wanting to do it every 2 weeks. But after our first episode, we were all like, "Oh, that was so much fun. Let's do it weekly." And then yeah, the guests just add so much to it. To the point that like we like almost never want to do guestless episodes. It's like, and it sucks to the point like there's just like people like you. There's like a list of like, I want to say like 50 plus people that we want to get on the podcast. And when you do one episode a week, it's hard to get. And then you have people that like you want to come back and stuff. It's so hard to get people on. Add on the scheduling conflict stuff, you know. Makes the dance interesting. Boss time!
Here we are, the big ugly bird herself. Oh, that ain't right.
Thought I was gonna dodge that. There we go.
Thanks for making me see all that.
What's my #1 hope for 0.5? I mean, if you're talking about like actual copium hopes, I really hope we get more than one weapon type. Like, I think the game just desperately needs more melee weapons and just more skills to play with. And I know some people don't even think there's one weapon coming. I feel like it would be really bad if not a single weapon came. We really need more melee weapons, but I want like axes and swords. Like, I want axes and swords to both be coming in the patch.
How can I help you?
Talamoana. Where to?
I know that's some gigacopium, but GGG has done insane drops before where they just drop a bunch of like random stuff, like to hype up this thing. I think there's a lot of merit to it from a balance perspective if you want to get the game as polished as possible before the free-to-play happens. Now's a good time to introduce multiple weapons. But yeah, I just want melee weapons, man. I'm a melee main, and we don't have very many good melee skills. Like, you know, you have something like spears, right? But half the skills in the spear tree, they're range skills. A lot of it is the same with quarterstaff. A lot of the quarterstaff skills end up being ranged or projectile skills. So despite those being melee weapons, they really don't have, like, an absurd amount of melee skills. And then you have maces, which have a good amount of melee skills, but they're also filled with shield skills, shouts, and a few range skills. So I just think we desperately need more melee skills in the game. My number one hope. So I think variety for melee is important. Especially with combo-based gameplay and on the weapon swap systems. Like, one of the reasons why I want to League start Witch Hunter is because of the weapon swap passives. Let's just say we get, like, a new weapon type. Like, you can really, like, let's just say in my dream scenario, let's just say eventually we do have axes and swords in the game. When playing Witch Hunter, you have the axe section right here. And I'm sure they'll add more axe nodes when the class gets dropped. And then you have the sword section here. Then you have, like, one hand. So you have a bunch of one-hand stuff. So let's say, like, if you're doing, like, axes in one set and swords in the other, you could do one-handed swords and shield in one setup, and then two-handed axes in the other, or dual-wield axes with a two-handed sword in the other setup. Like, once we have more variety, like, weapon variety, especially for, like, flails, swords, and axes and maces, there's going to be so many, like, weapon set 1 is swords, weapon set 2 is maces, or weapon set 1 is maces, weapon set 2 is axes. There's so much potential for that, for the melee side of the tree, and for build making, not even just for Witch Hunter, for both, like, for all ascendancies. Being able to use both archetypes across both would be amazing for buildcraft, and we have the bones set up for it. We just don't have the weapons yet, so that's why I'm, like, just super, like, it goes beyond just actually playing with the weapons themselves, because obviously swords and axes are fucking awesome, but it goes beyond that. Because from a buildcraft perspective, it just, like, especially when, like, to me, combo gameplay doesn't necessarily mean, like, you have to break the armor with armor breaker and do leap slam. That's not necessarily what I mean by combo play, but, like, there's a lot of, like, fluidity that can come between certain skills where, like, shattering palm, for instance, it coats the enemies in this ice crystal, and you can use any other skill to shatter it, right? Like, those combinations are super cool, but we just don't have enough weapons to do that with yet. So, like, just every melee weapon that gets added to the game, for my playstyle, just enables so much. I know a lot of people don't play melee, especially in, like, ARPGs. Melee's never, like, the most popular playstyle, and it's always hard to balance, let's be honest. Like, there are some mechanics in boss fights that only trigger when you're in melee range, right? So ranged players sometimes will never deal with the certain melee mechanics, right? That just makes sense. And then there are certain mechanics in boss fights that prevent you from being in melee range, preventing you from DPS. And ranged characters never really have to deal with that. So just, like, it's always, like, from a balance perspective, like, melee is always just, like, not going to be popular for many reasons. I mean, yeah, it's hard to say what their plans are. I mean, you also have to keep in mind, like, Tencent is behind them and does, like, have some say, I'm sure. It's possible, like, they want to drop multiple weapons for 1.0, right? Like, free-to-play's out. We're dropping swords, axes, and flails, right? Like, that's something I could see them wanting to do for 1.0, and they're, like, holding stuff, but... yeah. Bottom left of the tree will benefit so much from axe and sword. Agreed. And then, of course, we have flails over here, dude. So it's just, like, add flails to the mix. That's within range of Witch Hunter. That's within range of the warrior. Like, we're missing flails too. And I think people sleep on flails. I think, like, if you look at skills like Holy Sweep from PoE 1, like, if you imagine how they translate that over to PoE 2, I imagine that skill is going to have, like, this really fun wind-up, like... I see all, like, 3 of the weapons we're getting, I'm super excited for. Maces... or, excuse me, axes, swords, and flails. I am hyped for daggers, but because daggers is this side of the tree, I just don't really dabble over here that much. I'm sure you can make dagger builds work over here. There's plenty of one-hand nodes, but daggers is the least the one I'm excited for. Hey, what's up, Aaron? How you doing, bro? Man, I love the dialogue lines of the Mercs say. Mercenary is definitely my favorite class. Warrior's second now. I used to be a Warrior fan. The #1 Warrior guy, but now Warrior's my #2. Witch Hunter and Tactician, I both enjoy very much. Tactician mainly because of supporting fire. And agreed, Chicken. And of course, a lot of their team is multi-talented. A lot of time in development teams, like, you will have, like, designers and developers who are, like, more specialized. But, like, you'll have, like, map designers, you'll have, like, sound designers and stuff. But there are a lot of people who are, like, very much, you know...
Easy.
Their vision is required everywhere. And, of course, like you just said... priorities, right? And the eyes are needed on the endgame right now. You and Prada are my favorite content creators. Well, I appreciate being in the same breath as Prada, because I fucking love Prada, dude. He is so funny, and he is such a good build creator. I fucking love Prada. Oops, this way. Like, because flails are, like, a paladin class, like, of course there's gonna be some, like, form of, like... I'm sure there's gonna be some weird caster version of flails, but I assume most flails are gonna be, like... primarily a melee skill. Like, look at how talismans were designed. Talismans, despite Druid being a hybrid class, talismans are primarily for melee, right? So I would assume flails are primarily for melee, outside of, like... outside of, like, a unique one. Yeah, I love Circus Circle, dude. He is... I don't know if his English is good enough to come on the podcast, but I hope he would be down to chat one day, because like... There's one, like... There's usually, like... With build creators, I have found there's, like, a lot of specialties, right? You have, like... You know, people who are just, like, their specialty is blasting, right? You have people whose specialty is optimization and, like, really just min-maxing the fuck out of a build. Like, someone like a Snoobe, for example. You have people who are, like, off-meta creators who, like, really do, like, just prioritizing, like, weird shit, like me. But then you have, like, people like Circle Circus Gaming and Prada who are, like, both. they're not just, like, good at min-maxing the fuck out of a build, they're also creative as fuck. And those build makers, to me, are my favorites. And Circle Circus is, like... He doesn't just do creative shit, he's fucking also, like, breaking the game. And it's clear that, like, he's just having fun, too, which is also what's cool. Like, he's not breaking the game in a boring, like, super overpowered way. He's breaking it in, like, a holy shit, what the hell's happening here way.
Where to?
Oh, wait, no, I'm supposed to go back. I've been playing Crimson Desert. How about you? Well, my game dev studio, we just released our patch 0.3. So, like, the last 2 to 3 weeks, the reason I haven't been playing and streaming much is because we've been grinding on that patch. So we dropped that patch Wednesday, and then tonight we're pushing back out live the free demo. So the last... Did I do something wrong? I have the Versium. Oh, I didn't talk to the dude in town. Okay, I'm on autopilot. So yeah, I've just been super busy with work lately. I did try the Diablo 4 expansion. Game's not for me. I quit it very quickly.
Goodbye.
I played, what was it called? Shit. Let me look at my Steam real quick. It was a very fun pirate game. Windrose. I just played Windrose. If you've played Valheim, it's like a pirate version of it, and I absolutely love that game. Me and my friend full cleared all the content in it. It was like 80 hours of gameplay. It's like, if you like those survival games like Valheim, it's like by far the best early access release in that genre in the longest time. But I'm also a simp for like boats and like pirate battle type games, so. But I played that. But no, really, because of game development, I've just been, like, I focus on that a lot. That's my real, like, job and passion is the game dev stuff, so most of my free time spent in that. Well, and my, like, work time, too, so. Oh, yeah, we didn't really try and build, like, a super big base. I've heard that complaint about people who are, like, big on, like, making, like, super awesome-looking buildings and stuff. We're just guys who like the fights and build, like, I made, like, a couple builds. It's funny, MobileX had a Windrose section, and I thought about, like, doing a few build guides for, like, how my armor sets were being played out in late game, but, yeah, we didn't really, we built a, functional base, not a, pretty base. I mean, that's how I've approached every single lead, Chicken. Like, the reason why... I've done, like, 17 builds this league, and I literally had this conversation with Blade this morning. Like, going into 0.5, I don't think people realize the back half of 0.4, how many techniques were discovered this league. Like, this last half, across, like, all of the build creators, like, who were just doing the crazy builds this back half, that, like, all were getting, like, 5 to 10,000 views, like... There were a lot of really cool techniques come out, and, like, every league I play deep into it, like, with the, like, the back half of my league is playing for the, I call it playing for the next league. The back half of my leagues, I'm always trying to learn stuff that I can abuse at the beginning of 0.5, because you never know what you've learned from any of your experimentations or builds from the league that will give you an advantage in the next league. So that's why I play super deep into the league. Like, literally the reason why I'm doing this Armor Breaker, Witch Hunter, weird weapon set stuff is to prepare for, you know, the next league. You know? Right? Like, Righteous Fire Roa, when I discovered that with, Panda and Zeph from the Thorns Discord, like, that was us playing for, like, trying to find stuff to abuse in this league, you know? It didn't end up being a good enough mechanic to abuse in this league, but... Like, I definitely, like, that's how I play, for sure, for the back half of my league. And, like, that's why I'm so excited about the Endgame update, is, like, I'm already able to play, like, this is, like, a 5-month league, and I'm still messing around with new builds, right? Like, What happens when we have the Endgame update? I'm gonna be able to grind for fucking ever. Oh yeah, the ore respawns were rough. Luckily, we were only a 2-man team, but there was like when we both were getting our Blackbeard frigates online. Like the ore grind for that was rough. So I could see if you're playing like for a big house and stuff, that would be rough. I need to talk to Tujin.
Look, as promised. Fire then.
There are some things that are certain to get nerf chicken, but I feel like, I mean, based off the previous patches, in my experience, a lot of the bugs slip through. Like, there are bugs from, like, that we've been abusing since 0.2 and 1 that are, like, still not fixed. So, like, you are right, but, oh, I've had 2 points, my bad.
Oh, it's you.
You have
For the savior.
I don't think A, GGG watches every build video this late into the league. They're clearly working, but B, like, some bugs are harder to fix than others. I don't know. Like that weird, like a lot of the Righteous Fire Road bugs we were abusing is still in the game. Well, they have adjusted how some of those skills have moved with attack speed before. So they have nerfed it a few times. I mean, part of me thinks it's what they want in the game. Like, I disagree with the entire argument around the vision where people are like,
Cast off.
GGG set out on PoE 2 to make it so different from PoE 1, and the thing they were trying to solve was people moving super fast, and like, I don't think they've ever said that once. I think in late game they want people to, like, you know, be gods. So, like, I don't necessarily, like, I think Blown Shatter technique does need some tweaks, but I don't think they look at it and go, it's the worst thing. Still not done with 0.4? I mean, I'm bored, man.
That's one down. Anything kinfolk want that bad, let's live buried.
Yeah, but, like, you're at, like, so the reason why I don't have an issue with Bone Shatter being used as a mobility technique in sweater builds is, like, the average new player doesn't even know it's a thing. Like, even, like, Bone Shatter technique as mobility has been around since 0.2, and I still constantly see people like, wait, you can use Bone Shatter for mobility? So, like,
Too clean for kinfolk.
it not being intuitive for the casual is fine because, like, that's not what it's designed for, right? It is intuitive for a casual from what it's designed to do, which is, like, it's as an attack skill, right? Like, that makes sense. People using it for mobility are using it in such, like, fringe situations that, like, it doesn't impact their experience, is I guess the point I'm trying to make. Yes, exactly. It doesn't impact their experience in a negative way. You're right, it's not intuitive to them, but, like, it doesn't hurt them, right? Like, so that's where, me, from my design perspective, I would be not... I would adjust it for sure. It's a little bit too much. But I don't think it's bad, necessarily. And like Crazy Odd said in YouTube chat, like, for the casual player, their, like, gateway into mobility techs is Pounce. Like, Pounce is the gateway to mobility techs right now for new players. Like, it is so, like, this is what I said on the Schwingy podcast. If you're somebody who is never using weapon skill passives, if you're somebody who doesn't really use weapon set swaps or weapon sets at all, like 2 weapons, just slap a talisman and weapon set 2 and start by using pounce. You don't even have to care what's in it. Like, obviously, you should try and put stuff like marks and stuff in there, but just start with using pounce. So what's funny is people equate Prada with the movement tech. I had this conversation with someone else today. Content creators are very rarely the people who discover techs. Especially the people like oftentimes someone will get labeled for something, and they're not the one that discovered it, they're the ones that popularized it. The Bone Shatter techs, or excuse me, either popularized it or optimized it to an extreme extent. The Bone Shatter movement techs have been around since 0.2. But Prada is the one that min-maxed the fuck out of it to where you're seeing, like, the clown tier movement speed with it. Which is just so funny. Like, how much he was able to transform the base of that technique, right? Like, nobody had min-maxed it near as far as he did. With the multiple weapon sets initially on, like, and then they're, like, using the Witch Hunter passives to really get the high mobility. Let me, like, I'm not phrasing that in a way that, like, Prada doesn't deserve credit. He does deserve the credit, is, like, my point, is that, like, even if you're not the one that discovers the initial, like, tech, if you're, like, you know, if you take that tech and evolve it to, like, absurd heights, then that tech becomes, like, your tech. And, like, for sure, Prada is, like, who I equate Bone Shatter with, but what he made popular with Bone Shatter, I think, was in 0.3 on a Witch Hunter, was the first Bone Shatter build he made super popular, but I remember Ulfhandar, I think even Rabbit had a Bone Shatter build from 0.2. But that's what I mean, what, like, just, like, double back to what we were talking about earlier, like, what, it helps to play this deep into the league, because you start learning the base of those mechanics, you see what other people are doing the base of those mechanics, and then you have the opportunity to, like, transform it into something crazy, you know? Yeah, like, people were using Bone Shatter for mobility to, like, make up for the fact that they didn't have move speed on boots and stuff, right? They weren't, like, the old Bone Shatter move speed builds were just like, look, you can move with Bone Shatter, and you can get up to, like, 30 to 50% movement speed. Like, it's like, oh, like, you're as fast as you are with move speed boots doing it. So now you can, like, wear Trample Toe or something that doesn't have high move speed on it, right? Prada made it to where Bone Shatter was, like, fucking flying through the map, where, like, you were, you know, actually fast. That's how I look at it. I call it, everyone who's a build maker, they're making their own Frankenstein monster. And they're taking ideas from everywhere and throwing it into this abomination, and it's very rare that, like, a build that is made by anybody is, like, 100% their build, right? Like, that's just absurd. Like, every time you watch someone else's video, every time you see someone else do something, you've learned something from them that you haven't played before. Every time you go to PoE Ninja, you, like, look at the support gems, like, everything gets, like, merged into one. You'd have to be, like, completely blinders on, like, never looking at Ninja or other people to, like, fully make your own build, and I would imagine you wouldn't make a very good build.
Raise the sails.
Because, like I just said, like, look how many techniques got, like, discovered at the back half of 0.4.
As close as we can
Like,
get.
you just learn so much
we made it.
from watching other people. Like, there's no way you could keep up without, like, you know, keeping your eyes on the community and stuff. And I'm not saying that, like, to take away from any build makers. Like, I hope this doesn't come off as, like, build makers aren't actually as smart as they are. It's just, I'm just putting it into perspective how it feels from my end, you know, like, everything's a collaboration. Like, a lot of, like, there are, like, archetypes that get expanded by, like, individuals heavily. Like, I don't know, my 0.1 and 0.2 Thorns builds, I was, like, the only content creator making Thorns builds, so at that time, a lot of it was self-discovered, but at this point, like, look what Adonia's Ego Thorns became. Adonia's Ego Thorns can one-shot Group Arbiter. I would have never made that on my own, right? Like, the difference in power between when, like, you have so many people experimenting versus just one person. Like, you just don't have enough time to test all the interactions and shit, right? So, just, you learn so fast, man. But yeah, that's the only reason I can play this game so much is, like, right now, it's like, I know there's, like, a lot of motivation issues with, like, playing at this point in, like, a league that's this economy fucked. It's like, the dines don't matter, like, the characters deleted and stuff, but for me, it's just, what if I learn something this run that helps me out on League Start to make a cooler build? And that's, like, what's exciting to me. Obviously, I enjoy playing the game, too, so it helps a bit with, like, you know, you really enjoy the combat. Yeah. I mean, didn't Tempest Flurry used to be a huge mobility skill too, and they adjusted that one, so... Like, I'm sure Bone Shatter will get some adjustments, but me personally, I don't look at it as an issue. But yeah, back to the whole, what started this conversation is creators like Prada and Circle Circus Gaming are, like, the exceptions, in my opinion. Because, like, if you watch Prada stream, like, he's actually putting in, like, hundreds of hours each season into hand testing each interaction. Like, that's nuts. For me, a lot, like, half the builds I make, I don't min-max them. Like, if I get bored of a concept, I'll move on from it fast, but... Remember the attribute stacking gemling in 0.1? Yeah, old stat stacking gemlings were a different beast. A different beast. I'm not surprised old stackers got nerfed. I mean, when you looked at that old meta of, like, everyone using Hoa, Pillar of the Cage Gods, Gemling stackers, like, if that didn't get nerfed, I promise you it'd still be around right now. Just dominating the meta. Maybe not the Temple meta because of how good Cast on Crit is there, just for clearing the whole room, but... Old stat stackers were crazy. Old Hoa was so funny. You could get so much added attack speed and lightning damage just from having Hoa. 5 more days until the stream? Yeah, dude. It's gonna be the longest 5 days of my life. Luckily, so today I'm streaming for a bit. Tomorrow I have board game day with my IRL friends, so at least that'll distract me. And then tomorrow night, there's this ARPG called The Dark West. and I am being showcased a little bit of how it plays tomorrow night, and I'll be joining a little Q&A session, or not Q&A, a QA session with them tomorrow night, or Monday night, or Monday or something. So I'll be getting a little bit of a sneak peek as a really cool upcoming ARPG. It looks very dope. It's got a bunch of cool creators that are a part of that development team. And yeah, I met with their game director and Major Aimless a few days ago, and they were telling me about the game, where they're at with the project and stuff, and then yeah, like, even before I talked with them, I was giga hyped. I cannot wait to see. Like, that game's vibe is super cool. I mean, who doesn't like westerns? And it's like a dark western, like, with, like, fucking the plague and shit looking type stuff. No more D4? Nah. I really hated that game. I apologize if it's a game for you and you're enjoying it. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying it's a bad game for me. The game is not what I'm looking for from a ARPG experience. I uninstalled it after 2 days. I played 1 day on stream, and then the second day I wasn't really vibing with it, so I played a bit off stream, leveled a new character to Endgame, and just, I couldn't get into it. It was not for me, boys. It was not for me. No! The game has a very clear audience. To me, it's two things. I think, like, the build craft is just not designed. Like, again, PoE is designed for a very specific type of player. And and D4 is not designed for that player, period. Period. Like, so if you are someone who is a massive fan of the PoE style of systems, there's, like, no world you're gonna love Diablo 4. But for me, it goes a little bit further than that. Like, the reason, like, I've never been an ARPG degenerate before. Like, ever. Like, I've played them before, but this is the first ARPG that's, like, consumed my life. Most of them, it's like, I'll play every other season or something, but until PoE 2, I don't think I had played an ARPG since the launch of Diablo 4. So it's not like I'm a big ARPG degenerate. The reason why I love PoE 2 so much is the gameplay feel. Like the build, like, the gameplay feel is what made me fall in love with it. Like made me, like, dive into this game, and then the build craft's what made me fall in love with it. But to me, the feel of this combat, of how heavy this leap slam feels, how good it feels to block or dodge roll some, like, heavy hits in combat, like, Diablo 4 does not feel like this game at all. Diablo 4 feels like Diablo 3. Diablo 4, and this is not a shot at PoE 1, but Diablo 4 feels, from a gameplay perspective, like PoE 1. And I don't know if that's a testament to PoE 1, the fact that it feels as good as Diablo 4 does, from a gameplay feel perspective. PoE 1 systems are way better than Diablo 4, but I'm just talking about, like, the feel of the combat feels like, for Diablo 4, keep in mind, PoE 1 came out, what, 13 years ago? Why does Diablo 4 feel like PoE 1 when it's more modern? Like, that's where my disconnect comes in, is that PoE 4, or Diablo 4, does not feel like PoE 2 to me. Like, PoE 2 is just what I want from ARPG combat, and no other ARPG does combat like this. Have this weight to it. That's the difference from me. Like, if I would have played this version of Diablo 4 before PoE 2, like, if this was the launch version of Diablo 4, I probably would have been playing it like fucking crazy. But the feel of PoE 2 is just... I get so immersed when I'm playing my character with WASD. Like, no other ARPG captures that for me. I hate talking like this because it sounds so simpy, and I've never simped for a game like this before, but it's just genuinely how I feel like. The entire time I'm playing Diablo 4, it's not just the build craft, it's just the moment-to-moment combat is just so lightweight. It's so floaty. So that's just the main reason, I think. There's a lot that's good about Diablo 4. I honestly think some of their endgame systems are cool. I think there's virtually no build craft, and all the people who like to pretend that there is build craft in Diablo 4 are silly gooses. Just a little bit of a silly goose. But to me, here's the best example of why I didn't like the Diablo 4 campaign specifically. Right now, we are clearing through this area, and we're getting lore. Like, as we entered, we had like 20 seconds of dialogue with those two NPCs at the front, and then the rest of the lore and exposition happens while you're clearing the area. And then the Diablo 4 campaign, I feel like literally 50% of the campaign was talking cinematics outside of combat. So just like from the flow of the campaign, like I'm just super spoiled by how much I enjoy PoE 2, I guess. Like, I just fucking love the way this campaign feels in comparison. I also didn't like spoilers. If you don't want to hear Diablo 4 story spoilers, I'm going to talk about something in 3 seconds. I thought the redemption of Lilith was super cheesy and stupid as fuck. I just thought that was so dumb. So, like, I don't know. The game's not for me. The game's not for me. Outside of the Lilith stuff, I thought the campaign was fucking amazing. Outside of that, I thought the campaign story was awesome, but... like, we are playing, like, emotional, like... I can't believe I have to kill Lilith! Oh no! Like, what are we talking about? Like, they tried to rewrite her history. Like, that she was a counterpart to Anarius. Like, it was very cringe to me. But, I just want to preface this. Finish this discussion with, I don't think Diablo 4 is a bad game. It is clearly, like, and I think the people making it do care about it. It's just not made for PoE 2 players. It's made for Diablo 4 players. And I think that's a good thing. Oh yeah, I mean, the cinematics were fucking S tier. Like, a lot of the cinematics were so good. I thought Mephisto was a badass villain. Another spoiler, but the return of Tyrael, I thought was fucking, like, well-timed. Like, I thought that was awesome. I love Tyrael, though. He used to be my tank main in Heroes of the Storm, so... but I'm just spoiled by this game, I think. I mean, yeah, like, I had a video talking about it on my channel where, like, Diablo 4 is the illusion of choice. That is why so many Diablo 4 players will violently argue that there is build making in D4 because they don't understand that the choices that they're making aren't real choices. Like, there's no, like, your choices are usually forced. Like, here's an example. If me, Miso, Prada, and Rabbit all played Diablo 4, and we were all to go make a druid pulverized build using the skill pulverize, I can almost guarantee you that our builds, when finished, would look 98% the same. The only thing that would be different is the order we selected our Paragon boards in. And maybe one legendary aspect different. I don't think I got the mana. I need to go get it. let's do the exact same thing in PoE 2. If me, Prada, Miso, and Rabbit were all to do a Leap Slam build, not only would, like, everything would look completely different. We would probably end up on different Ascendancies. We would probably have completely different trees. Our support gems and our gearing choices, our defensive layers, they would all look wildly different. Like, I genuinely believe that. But versus D4, again, it's the illusion of choice. And Rax talked about it in his review video. He said it was the illusion of choice too. You have an option where you have a skill like, I talked about this literal example in my video. You have a skill like Pulverize. It has 2 passive choices you can apply to it. One of them is it costs 7 less spirit, and the other is it does 30% more damage. Are you going to do the 7 less spirit or the 30% more damage? Like, yeah, there's a choice, dude. I'm choosing the 30% more damage. I'm a build maker. Like, that's what it build making in Diablo 4 feels like. It's like, it's super surface level, and that's good. That is very good for that game. Like, that is what the less casual audience needs. I will say this, though. I haven't talked about this at all. I will definitely never, ever play another Diablo game ever again, and it's specifically just because fuck that company, dude. I'm so sick and tired of Blizzard, dude. I cannot believe they put paywalls on the skills for the class trees. You can't even play the base classes anymore without having to buy the more recent expansion because, like, half the trees are gated. It is the most grimy Blizzard thing you could do. Like, it is the most offensive pay-to-win I've seen ever. Like, it is like, I can't, how do you, like, it's one thing to be like, you can't play the Paladin and the Warlock, and you can't play the expansion's content, like the actual campaign, without buying it. But, like, you literally can't even get access to passive tree. Like, half of the skill options and stuff are, like, passives are missing, like. It is wild. I can't believe they did that.
The lone traveler journeys on.
Agreed. Agreed. It is definitely a corporation. I thought, like, there are some things they did right. But yeah, it just ultimately isn't for me. I don't want to sit here shitting on Diablo 4 and Blizzard. I don't mind shitting on Blizzard. But, yeah, it's just clear that Diablo 4 is not made for me. That's fine. I like this game. I'm a weird simp. I do too. Urdu. I do too. I mean, I look at them as 3 distinctly different companies. You have Blizzard, you have Activision Blizzard, and then you have Blizzard Microsoft. Or Microsoft Blizzard, whatever you want to call it. I look at them as 3 distinctly different companies. That just, like, own the IP. Like, they just traded the IP, you know? Like, even seeing how their smaller teams operate, like the classic team, it's just like, that company is visionless, directionless, just after the money.
Warrior emerges from the caldera.
Okay. What do you mean, Path of Exile has that issue with new classes? Oh, I see what you say. I see. You're responding to Funky Chicken. Yeah. I mean, so that's not, like, necessarily a pay-to-win thing. That's, like... So, I like... Because I work in game development, I, like, watch, like, just constant, like, seminar or, like, discussions about, like, game developments at conferences and stuff. And there's, like, actually a thing where, like... Basically, from a design perspective, you want to release things overpowered. From many, like, reasons. Like, in League of Legends... Like, if you release I think it was, like, a Riot discussion that I first heard this talked about was when they used to release champions, if a champion released undertuned, it wasn't just bad for that champion, it was bad for the whole season. It would just tank the player, play rate of the entire season if things released weak. Like, you have to have new stuff be a little bit overtuned, and I just, from a balance perspective, you're basically incentivized to overtune stuff and then tune it back. Now, when you're talking about competitive stuff, it's a little bit harder to walk that line. But for a PvE game, where I know this game is competitive in some ways, especially when it's because of the economy, but a game like this, it is definitely better for Druid to release overpowered than to release weak. Like, if Druid really... What made 0.4 so good was the fact that everyone was having a blast playing Druid because most things were good. So I just think that has to happen, you know? But when a game like, you know, has a paywall behind overpower and pay-to-win environments, that's where there's more nuance, but it is very important for shit to release good and not bad. And a lot of developers will overtune stuff essentially on purpose. If they're releasing something blind into a live environment. Yama see you.
Okay. Yama sees you. You are worthy.
Goodbye, Munko.
Cruelty. Remember, you started this.
I love the Mercs lines. They're so funny. I like that. I liked how Dota used to do releases back in the day. Competitive happened. All new heroes were not allowed in competition. I mean, yeah, that's pretty normal too. That's how competitive games oftentimes handle it. Is when a new character comes out, they are not allowed in the competitive pool for a while. I think Overwatch started doing that, or maybe it was Valorant. I'm not sure. One of those shooters was doing that when I was playing it.
You make the mother of You will want in it, but when we will meet again.
We're gonna completely redo this tree at some point, but this is just the sloppy shit we're making work. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I've never gotten, like, into the competitive aspect of the league starts. Like, I'm not in a race for currency. I'm not in a race to get the endgame fast. I'm just a race to, like, have fun with my build. So it's just like, I don't know. I'm never, like, stressed or racing or competitive on League Start. I know, like, some people get, like, really caught up in the Divine race. Like, normally I'm like a 10 Divine Andy. I'm normally as poor as fuck with my builds.
Land ahoy.
In the King's March Tavern? Say okay, good luck then.
Seems like a good place to lock someone up and throw away the key. It's easy to talk of justice. Living it's another matter. Bag of bones.
Like, for me, like, when my league start this last league, I was playing Iron Ward, and, like, when my league start, I did something absurdly fucking off-meta. Like, it was a dumb build to make for a league starter. It had low odds of even playing out well in the endgame, like an uber endgame. It had a reasonably low clear speed. It was completely experimental. And I ended up quitting it within a week. Like, that's not like what your average league starter people want is, you know? To me, it's just about having fun, I guess, and if the concept seems fun, I'm good. I love this area. I hate the prison. This is my least favorite. I do this zone last every time because it's my least favorite zone. I fucking hate the prison.
Faith don't count for much when nobody's listening.
The heart unlocks compassion. Compassion is the first step toward redemption.
What time is it where you're at, chicken? Do you prefer funke or chicken? I'm gonna call you Foo Chick. We're gonna call you Foo Chick instead. How about that? Should you do the prison first when you hate it? I mean, that's a way to look at it, sure. I mean, it's not really a difficulty thing, so, like, when it happens, you know, it doesn't bother me. I just, you know. I don't like the part 2 of the prison. Well, one, sometimes I get lost in this section of the prison. Like, sometimes it's annoying to find the way out of here, but it's part 2 that I hate, because of all the fucking slow in water. Leap Slam is very satisfying. I think it is, like, a good example of, like, what you mean when, like, PoE 2 has, like, a good feel to moment-to-moment combat. Like, Leap Slam just has a weight to it that's very satisfying. I absolutely love Leap Slam. It's turning more into a leap slam build than an armor breaker build, but that's just because even with good gear, armor breakers, at least with the dual wield setup, not the best. If I swap to the two-hander for it, it hits considerably harder. So it becomes like a much more reliable clear there. But I'm enjoying the, like, I was trying to like scale up the fact that it gets 40% more attack speed when dual wielding. But based off my current weapons and DPS, it, like, if I want to clear with armor breaker, I need to use the two-hander, so. I beat campaign and trade hardcore with your Thorns build. Appreciate it. That's awesome. I still have my hardcore Thorns character alive.
Locked up, left to rot. Poor bastards never stood a chance.
I missed last season. Well, you can still farm Abyss in this league. Abyss is a great farm in this league. I mean, Miso has basically played this league as last league. He's done, like, no Temple and only played Abyss, so. Abyss is still fun. What did I want to do? Did I want to, like, path up through here, maybe? Just get, like, extra damage until I do the retreat? Probably. Like, for me, I don't like Temple, but, like, I just don't do Temple, you know? I miss the Bulletstorm build. I mean, that is fair. That is a fair complaint, Strike. I miss that Bulletstorm build, too. That build was, like, my favorite build I've ever played or made before. Like, I fucking love Bulletstorm. So that's a fair complaint. That was a really fun, yeah, that build was just fun as fuck. No, Bulletstorm was my build. I did a Bulletstorm Witch Hunter using armor-piercing rounds with Nova projectiles. It was my most popular build in 0.3, I think. Outside of maybe my Thorns Warbringer. But no, you use armor-piercing rounds with, like, Ricochet, Nova projectiles, and it was just like... It was like a Vampire Survivors build. It was just millions projectiles on the build, on screen, and it had high mobility too. They nerfed the amount of like reduction while attacking stuff, move speed reduction while attacking stuff on the tree. So it's like you can't even get that fast anymore. I don't think. I miss being able to use Rapid Shot nonstop. So, I just released a video talking about 6 skills I want to see reworked. And there was a lot of good comments on it, and the video did well, so I'm thinking about doing another one. And Rapid Shot is one of the skills I would talk about if I did a part 2 to that video. Because Rapid Shot was... It was so fun, and now it is just stupid. It is just fucking stupid. Hey, later, chicken. Have a good night, dude. Thanks for hanging out.
Ooh, thick as a banker's skull. Whatever's down here.
It's unusable as it is to me. I agree. I can't, like... Maybe our next character, if we do another character to stall... We try and, like, solve a rapid-fire build, see if there's anything we can do to, like, fix the overheat problem, but I agree with you, it's, like, pretty fucking unplayable.
this will stop me? Not even this arrow's best could kill me.
Oh, I gotta click the button. I forgot. Oops. Made him heal. I was caught in the rhythm of the leap slam.
Not even this arrow's best could kill me.
Well, I'm killing you. Later, boy. Boy, 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 boy. Why are you sprawled out like a French model? Look at him. He's posing for the camera.
The final piece.
What? Ask the
This is the final piece.
Why the hell they nerf fun build?
I've never really.
You know, it always, like, the one thing that bothers me about, like, GGG's communication is...
Where to? All stop.
They don't really communicate, like... And there's reasons why they don't. We've heard about this from the PoE1 community, like how they got pushed back on, like, and they just always made drama. But, like, we never get told why something gets changed. Very rarely. With, like, balance or skill reasons. Like, they never tell us why Rapid Fire was reworked, right? We don't know why they were unhappy with Rapid Fire. Maybe there's a skill coming, or because there's, like, a skill that, like, shares overlap that they're trying to differentiate from. But, yeah, that Rapid Fire change really sucked. Hey, what's up, last one? How you doing, bro? One last build for the league or what? I don't know if this is the last build. We might have multiple builds. But we're just, like, bored, and we're just... Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know why I don't know why we did this. We're just bored. There might be more, though. Man, I really like that boss design. It's a fun boss. That was a super fun boss.
Well, here we are. Again.
Yeah, we're stalling. Like, you know, as we get closer to launch, we'll start doing, like, content where we're practicing league starts for builds. We're updating old builds and stuff, but, like, right now, you know, it's just more learning.
Together we can witness the birth
It's just
of
more
a new
learning.
tomorrow. A better tomorrow.
You're still running your Arctic Armor Wind Dancer builds? Those were fun builds. They got nerfed, though. Another build that got nerfed from the
I
game.
shall fetch the first herald.
That was a fun podcast with Stringy. My favorite weapon set swap setup is with Bear Smith, a Katava, and second weapon set is the buff Infernal Cry inside Ferocious Roar, Echoing Cry for Big Mob Fury Slams. Yep. I mean, that's where you should start. Absolutely. Like, you just start with something simple like Cries, or... Like, there's just so many ways you can very easily start mixing in weapon set stuff that...
We have been made well aware of
Yeah.
activities.
Yeah, and I could easily go play some hardcore solo self-found. I know I want to update my supporting fire tactician. I think of all of my builds this league, my supporting fire tactician was the one that did the best on Mobalytics, outside of the Thorns build. And that was probably my favorite build I've played this league. Like, I fucking love that build. So I will be updating that for 0.5. I will be updating all of the Thorns builds, or at least the Warbringer and the Shaman guides. But I don't know how many builds I'll be updating outside of that for the patch. Maybe the Whirling Assault Witch Hunter. The Whirling Assault Witch Hunter also did well. But I don't know if I'd update many more builds for the patch, just because it's hard to do that pre-patch with no patch notes. But yeah, I love Supporting Fire. If you've never played Supporting Fire Tactician, especially if you're a fan of Bulletstorm, it's not the exact same feel, but it's got the same feel of, like, screen-wide clears with a rain of bullets, so... I highly recommend Supporting Fire Tactician if you guys have never played it. Like, if we got no new weapons, I would be tempted to league start Supporting Fire Tactician. Like, 100% it would probably be my league starter. It's more than likely going to be my second or third build of the league, unless there's just, like, so many crazy new things to try, but I really enjoyed Supporting Fire Tactician, and I don't think it's overpowered at all. I think it actually deserves some more buffs. 0.2 Supporting Fire was absolute dog shit. I played at 2 back then, Cersei, and it was so bad back on release. The buff it got this patch made it really good.
Another notch on me helmet.
I have no idea what that means. So, I don't think, like, the reason why I don't think we're getting patch notes is, like, the same reason we never get patch notes. Until the day before the game comes out. GGG is working on the patch up until it drops. So, like, we might get light patch notes that's, like, goes over system changes and stuff, but actual balance changes to, like, skills and stuff, number tweaks, we usually don't get those until a day before, and I don't see that changing. But what I mean, like, update stuff is, like, when I made my supporting fire tactician build, I did that as a twink character. But since I've done that build, I've done it twice solo self-found and on league start. So, like, that one's, like, in need of an update in terms of, like, league start, which you could technically practice now. I thought the actual good patch notes was always, like, 2 days before. And, like, we always got, like, the fluff patch notes right after the stream. But maybe I'm misremembering. I could be misremembering. Will you do a live stream reaction? Yeah, I'll probably be a live streaming the reaction, or live streaming me watching the live stream. I know some people like watching that stuff, so I'll be live. I know Rabbit and I are going to collaborate sometime this week. Some morning this week, we're going to like do like a tier list or some form of Yap content together. So I know that's happening for stall content. Me and Rabbit are going to dick around with something. Maybe me and Miso will do something too. So I know that stuff's planned. Launch day, I don't have any plans. Obviously, the day the launch happens, I'm going to be reacting to the live stream. And probably the Q&A, we'll see. I'm not a big fan of the Q&As. My ADHD can't sit through them very well because there's a lot of, like, side conversation going on in them. So I usually like to, like, watch the Rax recap where he breaks down all the notes in the Q&A. Leap Slam's super fun. It's good damage. Oh, gotcha, last one. Well, if we got patch notes soon, or early, that would be huge. I think we're definitely getting a new class for sure. Oh, that's not the build I'm playing. I haven't updated that build thing in a while.
You really are becoming quite a nuisance.
Kanu!
You're really pushing your luck, lady.
My life's work is about to be finished. The Twilight Order will.
I don't expect them after the reveal because there's 3 weeks of like.
A world without.
They gotta drip feed us, you know.
Without the disease of divinity. You and your.
But I'm sure we'll get them at least sometime before. But yeah, so Thursday is the reveal stream. I will be live reacting to it. And then the next day is the podcast. And, like, if we ended up doing a 5-hour podcast, it'll happen. Like, we will talk for as long as we possibly can. We will go over everything from the reveal stream, so.
Whether you like it or not, behold the beginning of tomorrow.
I cannot wait for the podcast. I'm honestly more hyped for the podcast than I am for the reveal stream. I fucking love hanging out with Miso and Rabbit. And that's just going to be so much fun talking. What are you thinking we get in 0.5? Swords or axes for sure. A lot of people are getting super excited for this Endgame rework. And I'm super hyped for it, but there's a lot of crazy claims coming from it. GGG has basically told us what the Endgame rework already is. Like, a lot of people are like, they're completely reworking Breach. They're completely reworking Expedition. They're completely reworking Delirium. They're completely reworking Ritual. They're all going to be completely different. And I don't think that's the case. I think they'll have some slight tweaks, but the rework that's coming is the Atlas tree getting a rework. The base mechanics, I'm going to be shocked if they're wildly different. Like, how is Expedition going to change from just walking up and then placing the mines and exploding it? And then logbooks, how are they going to violently change logbooks? Like, the people that like playing Expedition don't want those mechanical aspects of it to change. They want the reward structure to change. And that's where the Atlas tree comes in. So, like, there's a lot of people overhyping just a little bit the Endgame rework. I'm pretty sure it's just an Atlas tree overhaul coming. They're not going to go through and just, like... I think there's a chance Breach gets the PoE 1, the PoE 1 treatment, where, you know, we get the PoE 1 Breach, but, like, I don't think every single League mechanic is getting a full ground-up rework. I think we're getting an Atlas tree. And then some minor reworks, but, like... Do they need to rework Titan? I don't think so.
No.
Why? Do you think it's too overpowered? I could be completely wrong. And if I'm wrong, you know, I'm happy to be wrong, you know.
They need the weapon. The world is at stake.
And to be clear, an Atlas tree rework can function as a mechanical rework if the Atlas passives, like, completely change how the mechanics work, so... I could eat crow, which I'm happy to eat crow in this situation. I think you are very wrong, personally, Kyler. I think Titan is one of the best off-meta enablers. I think Titan is very good in life stacking builds, and I think Titan is very good in slam builds, too. But Hulking Form specifically is the single best Ascendancy node in the entire game. Period. Nothing is better than Hulking Form in my opinion. So, maybe some aspects of Titan needs a rework. Oh, I never did that. But in my opinion, no. I think Titan honestly fits the game really well, personally. But this is coming from someone who's an off-meta build creator. I've been saying Titan is S tier since 0.1. And a lot of, like, off-meta creators feel the same way because of, specifically, Hulking Form. Hulking Form is just absurdly build-enabling. And it's not just build-enabling for skill effect duration builds. But I don't think, like, because of how Hulking Form exists, you can't really afford to make Titan any better. Like, Hulking Form is very, like... I think people talk about how the PoE 2 passive tree sucks, right? Like, a lot of people talk about how the PoE 2 passive tree is way worse than the PoE 1 passive tree. And every patch, the passive tree gets better and better. In my opinion, Titan is already really good. And then as the passive tree gets more stuff on it and better stuff on it, it's just gonna get better. But, I could be wrong. Let me look at PoE Ninja. What is Titan's play rate right now?
Something's not right. Not right at all. Blood fever. Madness. Blimey. Please, do whatever you can to save Makuru.
Okay, I'll save her. What is the play rate of Titans? Titans, the 5th most played class right now. So it's, like, far from bad in my eyes. But no, like, to me, Titan has always been S tier. I think Titan is fucking one of the best Ascendancies. I will play it every single patch, no matter what, because there will always be a build that hulking form will enable. Also, keep in mind, by the way, that Titan is a life stacking Ascendancy when life stacking is not, like, in a good place. So, as the passive tree gets better, that makes hulking 4 better, but as life stacking gets better, that makes Titan's life stacking better too, so... I just think, I mean, I'm biased though. I think Titan's fucking busted. I think Titan's overpowered, but I have a very different outlook on the game, because what I play for is, like, off-meta builds. But I do agree. Like, if you want to have a debate about whether the time of need, duration scaling Titan is healthy for the game, I think that the max duration stacking Titan is broken as fuck. I think that build specifically is fucking nuts. So if you want to talk about, like, how those options are potentially bad for the game and what that design can lead to, I agree with you. So if you think, like, we're just going to get more scenarios of that showing up and it leading to bad design, I can agree with you that that possibility does exist. For sure. Titan could use a rework if it becomes a problem down the line when hulking form is just out of control. Because in a lot of ways, like, again, the time of need, duration stacking Titan, that is an example of hulking form being out of control, right? We're going to get more of those, so... If you want to look at it from those optics, yeah, it could use a rework for sure. But that would be a very controversial take, or a thing for GDD to do, because a lot of people really love Titan. It's a good discussion, though. I actually want to... I might bring that up on the podcast soon. If we need some stall content, if we don't get, like, Titan nerfs, I feel like that's a very good discussion of, like... The upside, because Rabbit is with me. I don't remember how Miso feels about Titan. I know Miso thinks Titan's really good, but me and Rabbit are both, like, Titan simps. We've both done many Titan builds abusing hulking form. Both Rabbit and I on the podcast have said many times we think hulking form is the best Ascendancy passive in the game. So I think it'd be a good discussion. And that is a good point, PP, that, like, changing where the passives are on the tree could change things up quite a bit. But, to me, Titan, for what I am as a build maker, is, like, it's like Witch Hunter tier, you know? It is so, So that's what's funny, Kyler, is I actually like the fanny pack. I think the fanny... It's so funny. I think the fanny pack is what makes hulking form balanced. You have to go through the fanny pack to get it. And there are a lot of times where I appreciate having the fanny pack. Like, there are times I like the extra inventory. I get sad when I'm not playing a Titan because I don't have it. Fanny pack's not bad, man. But no, I genuinely... Like, no troll, though. No troll. I genuinely have said this before. I think the fanny pack makes hulking form balanced. Like, hulking form is genuinely broken, but the fact that you have to go through a fucking fanny pack to get to it makes it a little bit more balanced, you know? But yeah, like, this is coming from the guy playing Witch Hunter with 100 weapon set passive skills. Like, this is something that's, like, arguably as good as hulking form. As the passive tree gets bigger, as, like, we figure out, like, how to optimize builds more, this is something that has even more upside potential as hulking form, potentially, for, like, the builds it enables, like... But these are the Ascendancies I like, because they let me do weird shit. So, I'm biased. I don't want to see them get changed. But they are, you know, debatable balance points. I agree, Toonsy for life. I agree 100%. I was blown away when I saw them change, because I used to play Witch Hunter before it got all its buff. I've been a Witch Hunter player since 0.1, and this used to be only 24 nodes, and it wasn't worth it. When I saw them change this to 100 nodes, I was like, holy shit. At some point, there's going to be people out there who are just, like, so well-versed in navigating the passive tree that they're going to be able to functionally play 2 different setups in a single build. And Witch Hunter will be overpowered when that happens. And one of the best examples of that being the case is Jungron's oil grenade build. He did that on a Witch Hunter, and he used that setup very well. Like, it's gonna keep happening, which is cool. I fucking love this shit. I think GGG has talked about that before, Mike Moran. Mike Moran in YouTube chat says, couldn't switching up the skill tree during seasons just makes so much more different build variety in theory, especially during these long seasons like we have now? Yes, in theory, but that's essentially how Diablo 3 and Diablo 4 handle their balance, where every league, it's like a brand new open environment. And the problem with that is, while it can lead to, like, every league is super, like, in theory, every league is super new with a bunch of fun stuff to play with, you need to have a base of balance for fun to be even existing. So when you're constantly just throwing, like, changing shit around and stuff, you very likely run into scenarios every so often where your balance is just dog shit, and the league is ruined because of it. I think GGG would never just, like, shuffle the passive tree around, because there would be no base of balance, and every league would just feel fucking chaos. And sometimes that would be fun, but sometimes it wouldn't be fun, and I think that's a reason not to do it. I think you couldn't just, like, shuffle the passive tree around, because it's so important. Like, that's not where the borrowed power comes from in this game. The borrowed power that changes up buildcraft is the league mechanics and new stuff that gets added each league. That's where they prioritize the new build stuff.
This is a Conway matter.
Enough babble. Where's Makora?
As we speak, the ancestors heal her. Enough! The time for talk is over.
Then shut up and fight.
It could work in a perfect balance where you have, like, just god-tier devs who can guarantee that, like, the shuffles never, like, lead to bad things, but there's just so many options in this game that, like, you're inevitably gonna, like, by moving stuff, you'll either A, prevent people from playing a build they fell in love with the previous season, or B, completely invalidate old builds because new builds are just so much better. It would just be a balance nightmare.
I'll stick to damnation.
Like, maybe a few things could move, but, like, if you're just talking about, like, every league is a brand new passive tree, I don't know if that would work. Damn, an instant stun on Tobakai.
Remember this day. Father of the forest.
I ain't got no choice.
Straight Tokohama. And for me personally, as a build maker, I do like the passive tree being static. This is like, this is where you get your PhD in, is like learning how to navigate the passive tree, right? Like, this is where, like, you want to study and, like, your knowledge carries over from league to league, right? I like the passive tree being static or stable, whatever you want to call it. Of the ancestors. Leap Slam's fun.
What have I done? It is over, Tobakai.
Can you heal her?
I believe so, but we have to move quickly.
Yeah. It's not just for us too, but it's also for the developers, right? Like, they balance the game around a static passive tree. So that gives them also, you know, the floor and their comfort and trust. Like, we're going to be fine because we have the passive tree. We can just add this weird shit on top of it, right? Question for you guys. Are you an Act 5 believer? Do you think we are getting Act 5 in the next patch? Or do you think we're going to be stuck with the interludes for another round of, for another patch? I'm on the 2-class train. I'm iffy on Act 5. I would love Act 5. I know a lot of people like the interlude acts. I think they suck.
This time of year,
I think I like some of the boss fights in the interlude acts, but I would like... To me, the campaign, Acts 1 through 4, has a very good flow and pace, and the interlude acts, they're okay, but they don't meet the same standards as the other acts for me. I personally think we are not getting a new act because... I mean, we could, but that would mean we only got interludes for a single patch. So, like, someone put development time into interludes for it to be immediately replaced. That's not unheard of. The interludes were meant to be temporary anyways. But that's, like, one argument for it. It's like...
Greetings.
I think Act 5 could come, though. I would love Act 5 to come, personally. I hate the interlude acts. I love the boss of this one. The final boss of this interlude act is super awesome. He's super fun. I wish they never nerfed him. Well, they nerfed his bug, which needed to be fixed, but... Oh, I wanted to test this two-hander, or this one-hander. We're still better off using two-hander, though, for now. Whatever, we're gonna go back to dual wield, fuck it. No. So, from what I'm told, is Act 6 is a finale act. It is supposed to be much shorter and much more action-packed than all of the other acts. So, I'm guessing Act 6 is very... Like, it's not dense in experience. So it is possible that they just, like, have Act 5 line up with the experience of the interludes, and then eventually make a micro-adjustment in the XP when they add Act 6. But yes, that is a valid counterpoint to why they wouldn't just add Act 5, because if you're going to have Act 6, or if you're going to have interludes be replaced, it would be easier to implement Act 5 and Act 6, right? And not have to design twice, so... There's another valid argument against Act 5, for sure.
You can't fight to the last.
What have you learned?
Well, we development don't slay them.
The way I would look at... Again, GGD does their own thing, but this is the way I would look at it, is if 1.0 is the end of the year, if we're going into 1.0 after ExileCon, and this is the last patch before that, I would want to get as much into this patch as possible, so I can have it balance tested and play tested before 1.0. If you want Act 5 to have no bugs, have, like, not like some bosses that are just one-shotting new players and stuff, for the free-to-play launch, you get as much in as you can for this patch. You just get it as, you get a good balance test and a good play test with your community before it goes free-to-play. That is how I would approach this patch if 1.0 is next. I would just be getting as much in as I could. They obviously want to save Act 6 for ExileCon. I don't think we would get Act 6 now. I think it just makes so much sense for the finale of the story to happen with 1.0 at this point, right? So, it's tough. I think it makes more logical sense to save it for both acts for ExileCon, but I can see both having reasonable reasons for doing them. I don't have another jewel yet. Oh, I do. Cool. The poison Amazon lady is what I had the most trouble with overall. A lot of people died to her. Yeah. In the Act 3 interlude act. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, guys, and then we will keep playing. All right. Maybe they could do 0.5 and then restore 0.5 in 3 months with balance changes. I have no idea what they'll do. GGG has been doing leagues for, what, like 6 to 8 years now? Like, for a long time. They know what they need to do in terms of, like, what the community expects and stuff, so it's like... I don't think they would ever do a league restart in the middle of the league. If anything was to have a league restart, it would be a private league halfway through. Which, that very well could happen. Like, let's say 0.5 is 6 months long. We know it's going to be after ExileCon that we get the next patch. We would, like, absolutely get a private league going with Mobalytics. Like, we would reach out to Mobalytics, be like, hey, we want to do another private league, like the second one private league. Let's get this online. So I don't think GGG would ever restart a league, but I have always been a heavy proponent for GGG to balance patch more, especially in early access. Like, there was a while on the podcast where every single episode I bitched about the fact that GGG doesn't balance patch, like, at all, and I've stopped talking about it because people were getting annoyed by it. Like, some of the comments were, like, consistently every episode, I'm so tired of hearing Cal ask for more patches. They're never going to do it. If we had a long 0.5, I would hope we would get a mid-league balance patch, but we didn't get that for 0.4. This was a 6 months league, and we got a no mid-league balance patch. We got nothing to shake it up for us. They just did a few balance patches, the temple at the start, and then it's been, like, nothing since. So, like, I just don't think they look at their development cycle that way. They look at once the league is out, if they're going to be spending development resources, it's going to be preparing the next league. They do everything they can to salvage and maintain the atmosphere of the current league, but from there, they're spending their development time on the next patch. They don't have time to, like, well, what can we do for 0.4.1 to, like, add a bunch of new stuff? Because to them, it's like, we could add this now, but that's supposed to be a part of 0.5, or, like, we'd have to stop working on 0.5 to get this in, and it's like, they're very much a ship it, and we're on to the next part, because we don't have time to sit here dilly-dallying. That's the vibe I get. Clearly, I have no idea how they develop stuff, but that is the vibe I get. I have no idea how big their team is, so... I mean, I agree, last one. Like, it's absurd that, like... I think if we were to go back... If GGG could go back in time, if they knew that it was going to be a 6 months league, that 0.4 was going to be a 6 month league, they absolutely would have had plans for 0.4.1. But I think I'm defending GGG in this. I don't know why. I just I trust them with this. Like, why they're doing this. I don't think when they said they were going to do 4 month leagues and commit to it, I believe in that moment they believed they were telling the truth with 100% certainty. But maybe I'm wrong. Did you take the percent life item? I don't know if I did. Maybe I didn't. This is why you're here, last one. This is why you're here, last one. Get that back on weapon set 1. Hey, what up, Prada? What is this MTX? It looks fucking fire. It's my favorite MTS. It is... Echoes of the Maven body armor. Gives you the cool float.
No mana.
What's up, Narmish? They stopped doing that because the community reacted negatively to it. They did it for a short time after launch, but the community treated the game like a full release, so GGG started treating the game like a full release. I mean, yeah, like... They did... Well, okay, to be... GGG only did one attempt at a balance patch. And then they immediately gave up on that. I feel like they could have, like, tried doing them, like, a little bit more staggered or something. I agree why they stopped doing, like, I think their original plan was weekly balance patches. Clearly that was, like, a good idea to shift away from, especially this late into the development process, but I just want mid-league patches. I don't think mid-league patches are too much to ask for. The 0.2.1 patch, or 0.2.2, it gave us a bunch of new uniques. Like, that was cool. I would have been happy with, like, you know, 5 or 10 new uniques mid-patch. I don't expect, like, a full skill rebalancing, by the way. Like, anyone who thinks they should go through, like, mid-league and, like, do a full balance repass, that is asking for a lot, you know. Hey, later, Kyler. Thanks for chatting, bro. We almost got Armor Breaker to be Bone Shatter. It just doesn't move you enough. It's just not, it's not as cool as Bone Shatter. It is fast, though.
Out of mana.
I feel like a 6-month cycle would have been like... I think everyone agrees a 4-month cycle should be what they're working towards for both PoE 1 and PoE 2. But I think everyone, like, even at the time was like, that seems a bit ridiculous. If they would have said 6-month cycles, I feel like that would have been like... It's not ideal for anyone who plays only PoE 2 or only PoE 1. But... it would have been way more reasonable on them from a design and, like, workload perspective, and people who played both games, like, it is consistent, like, the PoE 1 players that come on our podcast, they tell us that they experience ARPG fatigue. It's not very often that you have someone like Captain Lance, who's, like, playing 4 months into both leagues, you know? I do think that 6 months is the ideal, or 4 months is the ideal, but... yeah. Would you happen to have a Titan character on hand? I think I found a cool bug with Titan and Forge Hammer. I do have a Titan, but he's not geared right now. What's the bug you're trying to do? I think I have like a 97 Titan. I don't remember what level he is. I know his gear is completely naked, though. Well, I agree. I feel like, I mean, I'm making benefit of the doubt for GGG here, but, like, you have to keep in mind that there is the chance that they delayed this league so it could line up with a, like, ExileCon 1.0. Like, they might have delayed it for not ideal reasons. We all assume they delayed it because they wanted to polish the patch and make sure it was good enough, which is what I genuinely believe. But there is a world where it's like, we could ship it now, but if we delay it, we get a little bit extra work on it, and it lines up better with ExileCon. And if that's the reason it got delayed, of course that's a little bit lame, you know? Yo, what's the cosmetic that makes your character float? It's called Echoes of the Maven. I think is what's called. It's from PoE 1. The one PoE 1 league I played. 3.26. Ended up just giving a sick-ass cosmetic. It'd be my favorite. I agree, like, a mini league would be cool. They do Pharisha type leagues in PoE 1. It's just like, we've had discussion on the podcast before, and my perspective on mini leagues is, I am okay with 6-month leagues right now, as long as we're in early access. I know it's not ideal, and we all want to play the game more, but if they were to give us a mini league like Pharisha, I would be annoyed because I want them to finish the real game. I know we all want to play PoE 2 year-round, but if they're wasting development resources on, like, a side mini-league, that means they're not, like, making the main league, right? Obviously, if they did a side league, I'd be excited, and I'd go play in it, but, I would rather them just work on the real game right now, you know? Can you set the Herald skills? What do you mean set the Herald skills? Like, choose what weapon set they're enabled on? You can do that with Heralds. But Witch Hunter is the best Ascendancy in the game. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. The people that know, know. Do PoE 1 items transfer over to PoE 2 now? You mean like the cosmetics? Some of them do. Not all of them. I know that's one thing a lot of the PoE 1 audience is upset about. One of the promises for PoE 2 was like they'd be very quickly rolling out all the cosmetics, and like they almost never do. There's so many that haven't been ported over yet. I went the wrong way. I got this. Okay, let's get armor break stuff now. Okay, we have these nodes here. What do these ones do again? Increase effect of full armor break. Fire damage on hits. I'm not set up to grab these ones, unfortunately, for that set. What do these ones do? Did you just increase effect of broken armor? And we'll just snag these then for sure. They're already on our path. Yeah, we're doing a dumb build where we're leveling Armor Breaker, Dual Wield, and Weapon Set 1, and then Two-Handers and Leap Slam and Weapon Set 2. And the first Ascendancy passes we took were Weapon Master, and I'm just trying to level with Weapon Master. This is very inefficient. You would definitely be better off with taking, like, Culling Decimating or Culling Zealous Inquisition. But I just wanted to challenge myself with, like, doing it while leveling. Whenever we get to Endgame, the tree is going to look way different. There's probably going to be, like, a way more consistent, like, non-split line. Because there's, like, a lot of good things for both over here. But this is just how it's, like, shaped while leveling without doing any, like, full retrees. And it's been fun. I don't know, I'm a big fan of Weapon Master. It is, like... I think Hulking Form is better than Weapon Master, but I think Weapon Master is way more fun. Hulking Form's fun too, but Weapon Master is just... It's the coolest passive. You can do some cornball-ass shit with Weapon Master. This is my first time using Leap Slam as a DPS skill, and it's fun. It's really got a satisfying attack animation to it. Most of the time I've used Leap Slam in the past, I always try to use it as a mobility skill. And it's usually when I was playing like a mace build that needed like something to go over ledges. And it's always like a meh mobility skill. It's got a very slower animation. Like if you want a mobility leap, you're better off with Pounce and you're better off with Thunderous Leap, right? But when using this Leap Slam as a attack skill, it is like absurdly satisfying to play. I've never played Witch Hunter. Can you spitball why you like it so much and favorite Ascendancy nodes? Well, I have an extra love for it because in every patch, oftentimes one of my favorite builds, if not my favorite build, is a Witch Hunter build. In 0.1, Witch Hunter was the only build that could play Thorns. Thorns was really bad in 0.1. It didn't have much support, but Zealot's Inquisition gave Thorns AoE clear. Thorns couldn't do much, but it could at least map because of Zealot's Inquisition on a Witch Hunter. I don't know if you've seen my Bulletstorm Witch Hunter build in 0.3, but it was the first time I played Culling Strike. Culling Strike and Decimating Strike as an archetype is super fun. You can increase what Culling Strike does is when you hit an enemy, and it doesn't matter how much damage you do, but if you meet the Culling Strike threshold, they instantly die. So for this baseline, if you hit an enemy that's normal, a common enemy, a white one, and they have 30% life or less, they instantly die. You can increase this threshold with a bunch of scaling to get normal enemies to get instantly cold at 100% life. So like Culling Strike is like, just from a theme perspective, it's really fun. It's not very practical because when you're investing the Culling Strike, it doesn't really lead to you having good boss DPS, but it's just a really fun theme. So I've done multiple Culling Strike builds. I've done this patch I did a Culling Strike Witch Hunter with Whirling Assault, and then I did the Bulletstorm last patch. Sorcery Ward as a defensive layer is, I think Jungroan said this is potentially better than Energy Shield. In his oil grenade video. Sorcery Ward is fucking insane. It's one of my favorite defensive layers. You scale evasion or armor, and it gives you a barrier. And if you've ever played the bottom half of the tree, chaos damage just sucks. Chaos damage is just a pain in the ass to deal with. You usually on the bottom half of the tree, you have to invest heavily into chaos resistance. And Sorcery Ward is fucking awesome for that. But it also just helps you survive big physical hits. It got big buffs this patch. Sorcery Ward used to not be this good, but this patch, it made it to where you could take physical and chaos hits. So, Sorcery Ward is just a good defensive layer. But from a build craft perspective, it's all about Weapon Master. You get 100 weapons passives, which makes every single weapon passive every single passive point you get, a weapon passive. So it allows you to do really interesting setups. Like right now, I have, in weapon set 1, I'm playing dual wield for armor piercing, or for armor breaker. So I just have all of this stuff scaling for one-handed stuff, and melee attack range, and armor break stuff. And then the second set is a two-hander for Leap Slam. This is just like a very surface level way of using Weapon Master where you can fully lean into 2 builds at once. But then if you go look at something like what Prada's done with Weapon Master, where he does Weapon Master for mobility with, well, he's done lots of Weapon Master stuff, but like with Bone Shatter. You know, like he's pushed, like you can really push a sub-archetype absurdly far, really min-maxing into attack speed. Or you can do something like Jungroan's oil grenade build, which is just 2 very different passive trees, making an absurd combination. So, like, it's got a lot of really good stuff in it, but it's also got stuff that's just really fun and creative. So, like, to me, Sorcery Ward is just like, or Witch Hunter is, like, arguably the best Ascendancy if you're a, like, creative build maker on the bottom half of the tree. If you're playing, like, bottom half of the tree stuff.
There'll be cinders when I'm through with
Do you think it'll survive 0.5 patch? I think so. Sorcery Ward might get some nerfs, but the rest of the Witch Hunter is staying the same. Witch Hunter is not overpowered by any means. And it would be very unfortunate if they changed how Weapon Master works. I think JGG has something really cool with the weapon set passives, and Witch Hunter allows them to flex that system.
That's your fire snuff.
So I would be genuinely shocked if they nerfed. Getting crazy lag in this instant right now. There we go. I don't think Weapon Master would get nerfed, but I could see Sorc Ward getting nerfed. I don't think it deserves a nerf, though. It's not overpowered, unless you, like, giga build into it. If you giga build into anything, a lot of things become overpowered. So if you're talking about, like, the ultimate upside of Sorcery Ward, yes, it's very broken, but I don't know. I would be sad if it got nerfed, too. Should I go Titan for Spearfield? Sure. Titan's really good. Guys, I'm just like, I'm so anxious. Like, it's weird to say anxious is the word. I don't know if anxious is the word, but like, I just want the reveal to happen. Like, I just want to know what's coming. People say the 3 weeks after the reveal is going to be worse, but I feel like now is the worst. I feel like now we're in purgatory. This is what purgatory feels like. We're just trapped in a void of, like,
7 pillars.
no information.
Names. One's been scrubbed out.
We're eventually going to go Sorcery Ward, so we'll probably take Global Defense, and then we are doing a Black Braid Cheese right now. So, sure. 5 more days. What's up, Celtic? Yep. I mean, I don't think there's a stream that I've done where I don't geek out about Witch Hunter, you know? What's best minion build currently? I actually have no clue. I would go look at Gazzy or Ostric's channel.
Make haste.
I know someone recently got like over 200 skeleton archers, but it didn't look like a functionally good build. Like in mapping and stuff. I would guess like one of the Righteous Fire Spectre builds, but I have no idea what's... I don't play minion builds. I played one in 0.2. If you count Supporting Fire Tactician, it's a pretty fun minion build. But it's not the best for sure. I seriously doubt it's definitely not the best. It doesn't have good single target. Oh, Varashta technically is a minion, but oh. Hello? Looks like the PoE servers are starting to have issues. Okay. Right, I was doing armor break stuff now. Has anyone ever taken 5% increase experience? For sure. People, like, whenever I've done, like, alternate characters where I go get temple boosted, you know, I'll take it then. But, like, I don't think I've ever played it, like, taken it, like, you know, on a serious character. Where, like, I'm min-maxing his stats. But I've taken it a few times. I would definitely take it if I was trying to do it. Yeah, exactly, Urgold. I would definitely do it if I was trying to do a level 100 push. I've never felt the need to do 100 push. The furthest I've done is 99 because 99 got me 1 extra jewel slot on that character. And I wanted the extra jewel for the Adorn build. But that's the only, like, the only time I, like, push my level is if, like, oh, 4 more levels? I'm 94, right? Level 98 gets me an extra jewel slot. Or, like, level 97 gets me this extra, like, keystone or something. That's when I'll go for extra levels, but, like, maybe 0.5 will be the first time I go for level 100. If the endgame is worth grinding on one character. Yeah, I have no idea what the most common would be. I think global defense is my most common take. Either that or move speed. But I usually try and make defensive builds, so... Zarok, what are you doing here?
Time's up, you dusty old bastard.
What up, Jado? My boy, Jado. J Dizzle. I mean, stuff like that are definitely good points to, like, points of data collection, but, you know, they are instantly choices that do help shape your character. I don't think I got the passive points. Yeah, I didn't talk to Risu.
Now. One night.
Okay. Actually, I don't think these effects... I'm starting to think I don't know if that's actually beneficial towards my build right now. I don't think that benefits my build. Because when I swap... am I losing the effect? Or is that, like, is the effect applied when I'm breaking the armor? So, like, when I'm breaking armor... So, like, what I'm asking is, in weapon set 1, I'm doing the armor break. When I swap the weapon set 2, is it, like, lowering how hard I'm hitting because the effect of fully broken armor is making me do less DPS? Or is, like, this, like, Is the effect of fully broken armor applied when I break the armor? Because if it's applied when I break the armor, that makes it worth doing. But I don't know if it does. I've never tried min-maxing armor break before. What do I want to do? This tree's so gobbledygook. I will fix it eventually. We're gonna have to retree before long. Hopefully they bring back the Shrine of Fire spells again, Flame Blast, Living Bomb, etc. I am very like, oh my god, I have to do another video talking about skills I need to see changed because I had multiple builds. I think in 0.3 they changed Living Bomb to where it was off of staves, and then they put it onto the actual skill tree. And then when they did that, they reworked Living Bomb. I don't know if any of you did Living Bomb builds in 0.1 or 2 with the staff version. It was so fucking fun. Old Living Bomb was so awesome. And new Living Bomb is just dog shit. I hate new Living Bomb. It is used to automate infusions. And before it was actually used to clear. And it was so much fun. Have you considered also scaling fire? I have. I've thought about going Avatar of Fire with this build. There's a very a good chance I'd try it out. I've never used the staff Living Bomb. It was like it would be like a bomb. Like you would put the bomb on a target, you could get multiple on the target, and they would like it would have a duration where like it would tick down and explode. And with reduced skill effect duration, you could get it to detonate instantly. So you would just be spamming the staff, like you'd be holding left click and you'd be applying Living Bombs to target, and they would instantly explode. It was just like, it was just boom, 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 boom. It was so much fun. And new Living Bomb is just dog ass. It's essentially, new Living Bomb is essentially used to farm fire infusions, which is like a completely different skill in my head. Living Bomb's not a damage skill anymore, it is an infusion farmer. Let's do the other act. I don't want to do this one right now. This one's boring. Yeah, my Blasphemy Living Bomb build. I forgot how I was doing the build, yeah. You just reminded me, yeah. That build was fun. But then, yeah, they just completely reworked it. Living Bomb was a really good skill. Random question, but did they remove acrobatics from skill tree? I don't remember what acrobatics was. Yeah, the Spellslinger cheat is good with Living Bomb too. Most people use Living Bomb in Cast on Crit now to automate the fire infusions needed for Comet to do its big damage. So it's just like completely different now. Yeah, that was the plan. It would be like to go Molten One's Gift, do armor break shenanigans with it. Especially since we're already playing with Volcanic Eruption and armor break. Avatar of Fire is good when you have like the scaling for it. And I've like every time I've tried to do Avatar of Fire early, it always feels not worth it. Pretty much Igalo. I'm bored, and I wanted to see how far we could push the skill with a lot of different, like, we're going to test a few different things to see what silly shit you can do with it. But that's pretty much it, yep. There are a few comments on that video that were like, it's really bad, but I did this once, and it was fun. I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Let's put my twist on it and see how it goes. And my twist is the Witch Hunter. Witch Hunter 120 weapon set passives enables you to do really interesting stuff. You really want to make a roll a Titan Witch Hunter now? I did an X-Pro and Spear one and never a Titan one. Titans are good, man. Titan is an incredible ascendancy, and you can always like use it as an opportunity to learn life stacking. Hopefully we get some life stacking buffs in the patch, so like getting a basic understanding of how to build life stacking builds now is not a bad idea. Ooh, this is a thick boy. Hey, what's up, Alzheimer? Yeah, I uninstalled that game after 48 hours. Was not for me. Not for me. Fun for some, but it's not for me. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you have to do when you're playing Avatar Fire to make it justified. Like, it's not just like with Avatar Fire, it can work well, like, but you have to have like everything. One, you need like Molten One's gift. This makes fully armor breaking apply to fire damage, and then when you combine this with something like exposure, and all of like the elemental damage scaling you can do, that's when Avatar Fire has potential. Which is like why it doesn't really usually work in the campaign in early levels, is because like you really need a good setup to make it. So I'm expecting to have to do like, if we're gonna make the setup really work, what's gonna end up the build, like what I'm predicting the build is weapon set 2 is going to ultimately be like exposure or armor break stuff. And then weapon set 1 is like the damage. And we'll be using like, I think we'll be using Giant's Blood by then. We're probably going to be using a two-hander. Knowing me, because I like defensive builds, I'm probably going to be using a two-hander and a shield. And not dual-wielding two-handers. Just because I like being defensive. That's exactly how I feel, Fennekin. Like, I see why some people like Diablo 4. I get why it's ended up being developed the way it is, and I will say that this patch or expansion is definitely better than 1.0 Diablo 4. Like, it is just an absurdly better game, but yeah, it's just not made for a PoE player. A lot of what makes PoE 2 and PoE 1 enjoyable is, like, if you feel like you're that target audience, you're not the target audience of Diablo in a lot of ways. It just depends on what you play PoE 2 for, though. I can't say that, like, as a general statement for everybody. But for at least the way I play. But yeah, I was planning on streaming Diablo 4 for an entire week. Like, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to stream it for a week. I'm really going to stall maybe like 2 weeks of content until the PoE announcement. But yeah, I just couldn't get into it at all. I only streamed it one day. I played an additional day off stream. Because I just like, I think the back half of the stream I was doing, it was just me like constantly comparing it to PoE 2 and just like being unsatisfied. I didn't want to like, I didn't want another stream of me just being like, oh, this isn't for me, this isn't for me. So I played one day off a stream to see if I could like, if I got deeper into the end game, it would start like vibing a bit more, and then I would play on the stream after that. And it just, I got 2 characters the end game, didn't really like either, like how either of them were like being forced to be played, and moved on. Yeah. We talked about it earlier in the stream. I won't rant too heavily on it, but like Rax talked about it in his video too. It's just the illusion of choice in that game in terms of build craft, which that's really awesome for the people that don't realize that. They get to feel like they are making these decisions for themselves, and you know, it also just keeps the game as simple as possible so the average normie can enjoy it. And that's, yeah, it's fine. I already have the one game I want to play, so I don't need 2 PoE 2s, you know. Once PoE 2 has its 4-month release cycle, it's like, yeah, I'm good, man. Hey, what's up, Minosuke? And yeah, agreed. I mean, even D2 was that way. D2, D3, D4, they've all been designed that way, you know. That's not like a new thing to just D4, you know. You mean 6 months? No. This is the last time we're getting a 6 months league ever. Don't say that. Don't say that. Oh, I see. We're actually going to keep pathing this way. This is the goofball-ass tree, I swear. We'll retree this eventually. Yeah, that's like... I assume, like, when the game has enough endgame content, in terms of, like, what I need from an ARPG, I still play other games of other genres all the time, but for ARPGs, I will only need PoE 2 because for half the league, I'd play Trade League, and then for half the league, I'd be playing Solo, Self-Bound, and Hardcore, and, like... I don't need more frequent than every 4 months, you know? I'm not a giga ARPG degen. I don't need to play a new league every 2 months. I don't need to cycle between PoE 1 and PoE 2. 4 months is definitely enough for me. PoE3 gets announced during ExileCon, then we get stuck in PoE 2 for the next 2 years. Oh no. 0.5 for 2 years. That would be rough. I'm sure one day there will be a PoE 3. I just need to completely redo this tree at some point. Like, I think tomorrow, before I stream, I'm just going to do a full tree respec because, like, again, because I started leveling with the 120 passives, weapon sweat passives, like, I just started off doing, like, well, what is my immediate value so I can get more damage during the campaign? And that's how it ended up snaking like this. But, like, this, like, we don't need this area anymore. Like, what we'd end up doing is, like, a much more reasonable tree. Like, we wouldn't path over here. We probably would have, like, path from here to here, got this there, and then path this way. Like, this whole area is probably getting cut. Though we might want to path through here for the armor break for this. So it's like, I'd have to sit there and mess with the tree for with more Witch Hunter points. It's just because I'm trying to cook it while playing it. I don't do, like, PoE building beforehand. Yeah. This is a stupid tree. Yeah, I agree. It's not different. Like, it sucks that, like, anytime you talk about, like, anytime you compare two ARPGs, two games together, like, you have to, like, try and preface it as much as you can to try and not offend people. Like, because to them, it's, like, again, it's, like, it gets very personal with how much you like a game and stuff. But, like, sometimes they'll hear, like, if I just say, like, I like PoE 2 better, like, what they hear is, like, they don't like PoE 2. So when you say you like PoE 2 better, what they're hearing is, oh, so you think my game is as bad as I think PoE 2 is, which, it just gets very exhausting at times. It's just best not to talk about the other games and just... I like PoE 2. I'm enjoying playing it. Shit. That was almost our first death.
That's what you get, you
Got clipped by that last one. So, we tried something with our defenses for this run. I'm a big fan of Black Braid. I've talked about this unique a lot on my channel. I think Black Braid is one of the secret sleeper uniques for leveling in this game. It has very low base armor, but for a level 1 armor, it definitely has really good armor. But what it has that's important is it applies 167% of armor to elemental damage. This is on a really good roll. I think it's 100% base uncorrupted, or 125, I forget. So I've used this unique on a lot of characters. It's very cheap, very easy to get, and I've used this like until like yellow and red maps before. At some point, you're probably better off replacing it with Brass Dome, depending on your build, but what I'm trying to do with this character is I am using Veil of Night with it while leveling. Veil of Night gives you more life, so I got 60% increased life, but you have no elemental resistance. So I've got 0 elemental res right now. So what I'm trying to do is just stack armor everywhere to get a high enough armor for Black Braid to absorb all of the elemental damage with armor. And then I'm just like life stacking outside of it. So I'm trying something weird as a defensive layer. And so far, it's felt really good. Like, I haven't died on this character. But it's definitely a weird setup, for sure. Oh yeah, Black Braid's OP as fuck. Black Braid is freaking awesome. Done with Diablo already? Yeah. Watch your video and I agree Fireball needs a good rework? Yeah. Fireball is, like, it really needs a rework. Well, no elemental res will stress me out. I've done a couple of Veil of Night builds before. They're really fun. You just have to itemize around them correctly, you know? And this is the first time I'm trying, like, we have to get armor in all pieces. So at some point, I'm going to try and get, like, armor rings. The way you get armor on rings is you get evasion on rings. And then you take iron reflexes. So you get extra iron armor from rings. You can also get extra armor on your gloves by taking leather-bound gauntlets, plus 1 evasion rating per 1 armor on your gloves. So with 224 armor, this gives me 224 evasion, which gets converted to armor from iron reflexes. So this just essentially doubles the armor of your gloves. I don't have a necklace that's doing armor right now. You can get percent increased armor on a necklace. So I could get a really high armor potentially. The problem is Black Braid is pretty limiting in how high you can... It's just only got 149 base armor. So this is like our weakest armor piece. And then Veil of the Night also has low armor. So I don't know how well it'll work into deep late game, but we're going to try it out. I've done Veil of the Night builds before with Comb's Heart, and I've done Black Braid builds before. I've never tried them both together, though, so... Hardcore viable? Black Braid is for sure. Veil of the Night builds are for sure. I mean, I haven't died this character, but this is a twink character, so I would assume it's not Giga hardcore viable, but Black Braid is one of the best uniques in the game, so that's definitely hardcore viable for leveling. And also, yeah, to clarify, just to explain what Celtic just said in YouTube chat, if you've never played Veil of the Night, no elemental resistances effectively sets your resistances to 0. You can't go negative. So in a lot of the ways, like obviously it's not hitting resistance cap, but you can't go negative. Your resistances are always, you don't have resistances. So they functionally work as if they were 0. Not negative, you can't like, no, like, you know. So it's an interesting way to build around your character. The Veil of the Night builds are fun. Well, yeah, normally with Veil of the Night builds, you don't use them as a leveling unique. You transfer to them in Endgame, and you have, like, a fuckload of life. Usually you're playing Veil of the Night with Comb's Heart, and then you're sitting at, like, 8,000 life, and then you don't die because you have 8,000 life. But, yes, I would assume... I'm not a hardcore main, and when I play hardcore, it's usually solo self-found, so... I have no idea how good it is in hardcore. I would have probably not play it, you know. Guys, I cannot wait for a new League mechanic. I want to say I have skipped Temple on the last 10 characters I've played. I just don't even do it. Not even during the campaign anymore. I'm not a Giga Temple hater. I think it can be, like, fun in the next patch. But the fact that it's not account-wide, like, I can't remake it every time I do play a character. That's just too much fucking work, like... I really hope the next League mechanic is not alt-intrusive. Like...
Almost lost a toad of frostbite back there.
That's just what I want. Like, a League mechanic that doesn't... Like, I can actually interact with on all of my characters. Do you think that is Maddox on the trailer? It looked like him. It sounded like him. I think that was his staff or something is what someone said on Reddit. I would guess that is him.
Easy.
Elder Maddox was in the Delirium trailer or whatever. I think Temple is awesome. I fucking love playing Temple. But it's not account-wide. That's why I don't like playing Temple. As someone who's made like 20 characters at this point in this league, if you include solo, self-found, and hardcore, I can't build 20 different temples. Not being account-wide is, like, really bad. And I just, like, I assume the next League mechanic is going to be something like Beast, where it's, like, just an in-map mechanic. Where you're not having to, like Abyss. You're not having to do stuff where you're leaving the map. Though for Abyss, you did have to leave the map sometimes, unfortunately. But I'm looking forward to a mechanic where I don't have to, like, go inside this area and again. Unless it's Delve. If it's Delve, I won't be upset. I fucking love Delve. But I don't think we're getting Delve. I don't think we're getting Delve. Am I dead? That was a lot of lightning damage there that we lived, despite having 0 lightning res. I almost died because I wasn't leeching, though. We only have leech on Leap Slam, and I was armor break spamming there. Well, I think that's more of a like, I don't think you're going to be building temples like that, Rabid. I don't think, like, these giga temples that are, like, 70 rooms deep, that are, like, scaled, like, to Uber Arbiter levels, I don't think that, like, gap between a hard and easy temple will exist again. But there's a lot of ways to make progress account-wide, and, like, and have it function with both people in mind. You can have layouts where you have 3 different temple loadouts that you can save. So you have your super tryhard ones, you have ones for alts and stuff, like... But also, I just think what makes it so, intrusive is the amount of time it takes to build the temple. It's not necessarily, like, the difficulty that it scales to. And... there's a lot of tweaks they can make to make it, like, I agree with you that if you have a level 99 maxed out character that is doing a juice temple, clearly you can't just like, well, I'm gonna go do this juice temple on my level 2 character. Like, absolutely, you're right there. But there is definitely more of a middle ground, in my opinion. Oh, you have to go through this to get that. I see. All right, we're down here anyway. I think there's definitely a middle ground that we, like, both sides can, like, get a little bit more. But you do make good points for show. What was I doing? What was I going to do next? I want to do a re-tree so bad. This tree is, like, poop tier. At this point. It was good while leveling, but now that we're, like, you know, we're at the point where we should re-tree. We've got enough points that we can do a much better loadout.
What rock did you fall out from?
We're going to need to get new weapons before long. DPS is starting to fall off.
Never come between a man and his next payday.
Still tanky enough to eat those lightning attacks, though. And then also, there's ways they could attach level scaling to the amount of rooms as well. So that's also correct. Like, they could also just do that. There's ways to make it more alt-friendly, but it also, like, it could be very much a me thing. I've said this on the podcast. I'm someone who makes many characters each league. You know, the game isn't designed around that. Most people play one character and then quit for the league. That is a, like, we're the sweats. So, like, we like to play many characters, try out many builds, but the average person plays one character. And, of course, they're, like, what it should be designed around, so... If it sacrifices the experience of the one character, Andy, then clearly I think that person should be prioritized over, like, you know, someone who's autistically grinding the game like me for his 20th off-meta build, you know, for the league. Like, I'm not the priority with that core design, so... I understand why it was set up like it was, but... It led to me, like, essentially never wanting to interact with Temple, because just knowing how I play the game, I don't know if I'm going to be building a Temple that I'm abandoning in 2 days when I want to play my next build, you know? Which is very, you know, very much a me thing.
The time of the sparrow has come.
I accept that I am not the target audience there.
No matter. Now you die.
Give it up. We're temporary allies. Like it or not.
Pretty much same here in Macho. I've played the same build across multiple characters. I've played 3 different supporting fire tacticians. I'm probably going to play a 4th one soon when I do a solo self-found test for the league start. So yeah, this has been a painful league. It's been fun, but 6 months, I hope we never, like, it's hard to complain. The PoE 1 players went, like, what was it, almost a year? Or was it over a year without getting their patch? Imagine if we had to go through that. Like, imagine if this league ended up being another 5 months. Like, holy shit, that would be awful.
How can I...
So I get why, like, the PoE 1 players were, like, molding out to the extent that they were. Because if I had to go much longer than this without a patch, I would be gnawing on my hand.
Not a good idea.
True. They did have a lot more of an endgame for them to grind over and over, especially when they did the Pox League. They got a fresh start. Like, there is a lot more of that endgame to grind. I genuinely wonder this question, like, do I make as many characters, like, the answer is yes. The reason why I make so many characters is because we have a shit endgame. Like, if there was a better endgame to grind, I would spend a lot more time on one character. I'm sure I would still make 5 to 10 builds a league, but, like, this league, I swear I've played, like, pushing 20 characters if I were to go through and, like, look at every single hardcore and solo self-found character I did too. That's not okay. That's not okay. That's not like a flex. That's like a problem. Oh, shit. I haven't been upgrading my gems. No wonder my DPS is so shit. I'm a fucking bum at this game, you guys. I'm fucking garbanzo beans. This fucking idiot out here using level fucking 7 gems. When, like, level 6 or 8 armor breaker when I could be at 13. What an actual dum-dum. I want to see how much DPS that increase that fills. Also, like, we don't have challenge leagues, or challenges, by the way. If we had challenges, these leagues would be so much more fun. Oh, that bleeds through my mana now. That's so fun. We do have autolyzed bloodletting. I'm going to be putting that in Leap Slam. I think you can use bloodletting at 65. So that'll help. We got to get Blood Magic and Life Leech for the Armor Breaker for if we're going to be doing dual wield. We might need to swap it to two-hander for now. Just so it's not burning as much mana. Ooh. Oh, that feels good. Yeah, I think we're ultimately going to be dishing the two-hander setup and going with the dual-wield setup. Even though the fast attack speed's cute, the two-hander just consistently feels way better. And when we have, like, more damage, like, it'll be able to clear on its own, I imagine.
Let us deal with this worm first.
Glad I could help you suicide your differences.
It shall scorch you.
Okay, Armor Breaker is doing better DPS than I expected.
Together, you die together. How sweet.
Maybe dual wield Armor Breaker was not the play. Maybe I was baiting myself with the more attack speed. Maybe it's about the two-handed Armor Breaker life scaling Volcanic Eruption. Because the Volcanic Eruption on top of the Armor Breaker damage was like, you know, wasn't good DPS, but it was a lot better than it was with dual wielding. Hey, what's up, ProTag? How you doing, bro? Hell yeah, Temple feedback video. We were just talking about Temple. I'm doing good, man. We're just trying to make it to the reveal. Surviving day by day. Try not to die of the killer boredom. I need to get Leech on the Armor Breaker set. It's hard to just depend on Armor Breaker when I don't have Leech on it right now. We can probably ditch the Mana Leech on Ring at this point. I have a feeling there was a knob down here I didn't get. How'd Temple Yap go? Any big takeaways? Oh, I was just explaining why I didn't like it, which is because I've made too many characters. And we were just talking about potential ways to, like, preserve its difficulty while also making it more alt-friendly. But, yeah, like, I literally have not gone into a temple, like, outside of the solo self-found character in, like, the last 10 characters. Like, I do not care about playing a temple because I have to rebuild it all the time. That's cool, officer, yeah. That's basically what I do every week on the podcast. Every week on the podcast is me, Miso, and Rabbit talking about what we learned and want to think about for last week. That's why I love it so much. It's my weekly get caught up on the PoE world moment. Which I'm so excited for this next episode. Oh my god, it's going to be so fun. The next time I'm talking with Miso and Rabbit on the podcast, it'll be after we've seen the reveal stream. Like, what? It's like, future us has already experienced Christmas. I can't wait for Thursday. I'll definitely be live streaming my reaction.
The king in the mist claims this wood. I guard what is his. This changes nothing. Suffocate. This changes nothing.
I wonder if there's something there.
There's horror haunting this place.
They spirits. What are they doing? Let's see what that.
I feel like we can make Armor Breaker do some good damage. I bet we can kill Uber Arbiter with Armor Breaker. It'll be a 2 to 3 minute fight, but I'm gonna do it. That's the goal. The goal is killing Uber Arbiter.
Worked.
With only Armor Breaker, not using Leap Slam. Leap Slam will be like in the ideal version, but we will get a kill that's only doing this.
Me.
I still wonder why they're doing the reveal on the 7th. That's so much earlier than I expected. What if it's actually really... I think they're actually going to release it on the 29th. Armor Breaker Mjolnir? That would be funny.
Something about this grove gives me the creeps.
I am concerned about burning out. Like, what am I going to do the 3 weeks before, you know? There's only so much League Start prep I can do. The fact that I'm even playing this character is crazy to me. I should be back on the beach, to be honest. That'd be funny, Protag. We are teasing what's coming end of the year. Oh, I just need 0.5 to be good, you guys.
Bloody horrors!
I think Sprint, like, looking back on Sprint, what a fantastic addition to this game. Once they unbind it from spacebar, or let me, like, rebind Sprint from dodge roll or whatever, I'll have no complaints about Sprint. Imagine there's a map modifier, though, that's all enemies have Sprint. That'd be hilarious. Oh, for sure. I think that's part of the reason why it got delayed, Celtic. He says if they rework the endgame mechanics and it ends up being bad, that would hurt the game a bit, like, for sure. I feel like that's part of the reason why they delayed. Like, they knew this patch had to be S tier because there's so much riding on it. Like, the expectations are grossly high for this patch. It can't be anything but amazing. There can be aspects of it that are buggy and have problems, but like, you know how most people think Druid was an amazing addition, but Temple wasn't? Like, you can't have that happen. Like, it has to be everything feels amazing with some random bugs.
You don't get to walk away.
Alright, we're going to use Army Breaker on this guy. We're not getting Volcanic Eruption right now. He's not getting ignited. There we go. We can make this do good damage at some point. Oh, we're gonna die. Oops. There's our first death. I keep forgetting I don't have Life Leech on Rapid or Armor Break, and I need to get Life Leech. I just kind of mindlessly attack, and then I didn't dodge. I dodge rolled instead of leap slamming the leech there. But we can get Armor Breaker to do good damage. Hopefully. I think we definitely have to go two-hander, though. The dual-wield dream was just a meme. Maybe if we had, like, mirrored one-handers, but I'm not going to spend the mirror on this build.
That's for every poor bastard you fit to you.
God damn it. Hey, Mr. Major Aimless. Hope you're having a good weekend, sir. Thank you for the raid. Hope you are doing well. We are messing around with the Witch Hunter 100 extra weapon set passive skills, and I'm like leveling with it from level 1. So like we've got a really goofy tree where weapon set 1 is Armor Breaker, and weapon set 2 is Leap Slam, and we're being a silly goose on a Witch Hunter here. It is not a good tree, but it is a tree that exists. And this is like, it ended up this way because we've been leveling with it from level like 21. So like, because at level 21 it was like, well, we need to split between two-hander and one-hander and then breach this way and this way. It's put us to a point where we're in a really bad spot at level 57. So tomorrow when I stream, or Monday when I stream, we'll probably have a brand new tree that's way more efficient. But this is where we've ended up with just leveling. I'm doing a Spear Oracle at the moment. Yikes, what Spear skill are you doing? I love me some Oracle, but Spears need some love, that's for sure. Depending on the skill you're using. But thanks for the raid, brother. I'm curious what the curve is, Protag, for Armor Breaker. I don't know how impactful plus levels are for it. I'm guessing that they are, of course. It's a melee skill, so very important, but I'm curious what the curve is for it. Lightning Spear, Stormlance, Glacial? Interesting. That sounds fun. We're also doing a fun thing with Black Braid. Black Braid is one of my favorite leveling uniques. It's level 1, and it has the effect of armor applies to elemental damage, like a high percentage, and the one I'm using is 167%. So I'm trying a leveling where I have no elemental resistance with Veil of Night, and all of my like elemental damage prevention is via armor, which is Giga armor applies to elemental from Black Braid. And that's been fun. You know, we're in the science mode, you know, we're in the science mode. That chest is cracked, never seen it drop though, sadly. Yeah, your solo self-found only, yeah, it's... Being a trade, Andy, anytime I'm leveling an armor character, if I have access to it, I'm slotting it in. It is so damn good. And not just for leveling, I've used it, like, to yellow maps before. Usually you want to swap to like Brass Dome or a rare chest when you get to endgame, but you can glide it for a while. You gonna use Gore Girdle too? Probably. Well, we'll see. Like, I don't think we'll see. We'll see. Gore Girdle's good. That might pair well with this, to be honest. I've done Gore Girdle builds before, but Gore Girdle, Veil of Night, Black Braid, I actually don't hate the sound of that, especially when you combine it with Sorcery Ward. If you combine it with Sorcery Ward as an extra defensive layer, that actually sounds pretty damn tanky. I might actually try that. That's a good idea, Protag. Alright, she needs to stop making that noise.
Soon you will serve our master.
Yes, I shall
All the
dance.
things I expected to see.
You made your bed. Now lie in it. I'm next to never.
I love Leap Slam. I've never used it as an attack skill before, and it is very satisfying. Very, very satisfying.
Aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
Okay, I think I'm done.
You've got some goods in.
I'm not done. What did I not finish?
Move swiftly.
I fucked up and didn't finish something. Oh, I didn't talk to him in the town. Did a Leap Sim Aftershock Titan once. A lot of fun. I've never used it as a an attack skill before. I've only ever used it sometimes as a mobility skill. I've never tried to scale it for damage. I've seen some people use it for like DPS before. It was my first time playing with it, and it's just absurdly satisfying. Like, I don't know how else to say it. The weight of like using it and like feeling the damage behind it, it just feels good. Like, this is a good example of like one of the skills in the game. Like, when you say like the moment-to-moment combat feels good in PoE 2, when you're using Leap Slam as an attack and not as a mobility, that's like, it's a perfect example in my opinion. It just, this weight, when it actually has damage behind it, it just, it's very like immersive, and it's just what I mean when I talk about the combat in this game being better than any other ARPG. It's like this right here, despite how simple it is, it feels heavy. It just feels so heavy. Like a normal ARPG, that gap would be closed in like a quarter second. It'd just be like doop, 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 doop. But like, there's weight, a wind up, like, it just feels so good. I don't know how else to put it. I'm a simp. What can I say? Carnarius made a Leap Slam Atalyze that was able to soak all armor attacks last league. Was nutty? Yeah, I remember that Carnarius build. Carnarius makes some of my favorite defensive builds. He's someone we need to get on the podcast. He's freaking awesome. I love it when it has the ancestral boost. Yeah, the ancestral boost is awesome. I almost, this character was started because I made a video talking about 6 skills I wanted to see reworked. And I talked about Armor Breaker. And since that video came out, there were a couple comments of people like, I did an Armor Breaker build forever ago. It was kind of fun, but it didn't really work. But what they talked about was like, oh, that sounds neat. What if I just like dive into Armor Breaker like really hard? And the goal of the build was to make an Armor Breaker build where, like, Leap Slam was probably the single target. And I thought about doing it on a Titan. Because Titan has, like, the Slam stuff, the boost, the Ancestral stuff, that would be, like, really good for this build. But I ultimately went with Witch Hunter just to do some weird passive tree shit with the Weapon Master. But Titan would have been really good for this build, in my opinion. Hulking form is just insane, like... I fucking love Hulking form. But I think Witch Hunter is just as good. Alright, let's go get our 3rd Ascendancy points. I don't know how much honor res I have. Oh, I've got a decent amount of honor res. We're good. We're good. Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and then, more, PoE. Be right back. Okay, I am back. Alright, question for you guys. I released a video on my channel a couple days ago where I talked about 6 skills I wanted to see reworked in 0.5. Whirling Assault got reworked in 0.4, and it went from a skill that was really clunky and boring to use to like one of the most fun melee skills to use in the game. So I proposed 6 skills that I wanted to see get the same treatment. I think I listed Hex Blast, Fireball, Flame Blast, Armor Breaker, Spear of Solaris, and there might and concoctions. And concoctions. What are skills you guys want to see reworked? Because I'm thinking of doing a part 2. And because there's more skills that I definitely think should be reworked. Off the top of my head, Herald of Ash, I think, is in a really boring and a bad spot. But one to me that really is really fucking, like, if you guys played old Rapid Fire, like, if any of you played old Rapid Fire, it was so fucking fun. And the new Rapid Fire is just, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like, does anybody play current Rapid Fire? I wouldn't be surprised. Or Rapid Shot, whatever it's called. I forget the name of the skill. It was one of the most fun crossbow skills, and now it is like... Maybe if you played this version without playing the old version, you'd like the new version, but I think anyone who played the old version would say the old version was so much more fun. I use it to heat up my Incense shot, 100% more ignite magnitude. Interesting. Yeah, that would be the only way I could see you functionally trying to use it, is like, you use it to apply a specific debuff for another thing. And that's honestly, like, not an awful, like, way of using it, how it's currently designed. So that's clever. But, yeah. What do you say? Hellstorm rounds, every maze skill in the game. Gas arrow. I've never played Hailstorm rounds. I've never played gas arrow. I've heard a lot of people shit talk supercharged slam. I have never played supercharged slam before. And it's because people say it's just fucking awful. I have never played it myself, so... Volcano is lackluster. I think Volcano is an example of a skill that suffers from the combo aspect of the game. Like, that is an example of, like, them failing to execute the combo vision. Like, because Volcano is, like, almost purely a combo skill. Like, it requires you to just, like, throw it on the ground and use something else, and... in a very, like, surface level and boring way. It's like, I've seen some cool Volcano builds. I think, Dread, Dread, the Last Epoch, he's just an ARPG creator at this point. But I think I saw him doing a Volcano build, at some point, but...
In the desert.
I'd love Incendiary Shot would make enemies explode like molten shell if it didn't outright kill them. That'd be cool. All the poison bow skills need some variety in their sound effects. I'm not a bow main. My first bow build was this patch, and I played with a unique bow called Doomfletch. So I even use like a normal bow build. I didn't use any bow skills. So bows. I don't know why that archetype. Like, I'm a melee main, so I guess that's why I've never bothered with those. But they've never really called to me. In terms of spirit gems, off the top of my head, what's the poison one? It's so bad I can't even name the bug one. It's so bad I can't even remember its name. Ravenous Swarm? Plague Swarm? What's it called? That thing is garbage. That thing needs to get an insane, like, rework or damage upgrade or something. It's... I know some people use it to, like, they'll use it to get poison on enemies just to get, like, poison up for debuffs, whatever, like, extra poison damage modifiers you can get. But I feel like it should have been, like, almost more minion-like. I don't know. Getting cursed with Enfeeble sucks. This early into the run. But oh well. I used Ravenous Swarm in a Dark Effigy build temporarily during the campaign because it got an extra debuff on the bosses for Dark Effigy. That's the only time I've functionally used it. Oh, you know what? Another good skill that I've never really talked about much, like a skill that got a good example of a buff? Iron Ward. I don't use Iron Ward much right now, but Iron Ward went from, like, completely dog shit to, like, a really good skill. I don't know if there's any Iron Ward fans out there, but Iron Ward is really good. Really good in the early game. And it does have some scaling potential, but...
This better be worth it.
What are your guys' thoughts on Nova projectiles? I know we all had fun abusing it, but... So I'm not shocked it got removed from the game. But the current Nova projectiles kind of sucks.
Another notch on me.
That's how I feel about it, Protag. It's like... The way Nova projectiles is designed, it either has to be overpowered or why is it in the game? That's like kind of how I feel about it. Like, it just... Like, if you're gonna have something like that in the game, you have it there as a lineage support gem, that's fucking busted as fuck, and that's why it's there, you know? To be busted. And the current Nova projectiles just, it sucks. I know it has some use cases, but... If they made Nova projectiles function like it used to, maybe like 4 instead of 6 projectiles, and you make it a lineage support gem that's like similar to Rakiata's Flow, you know, several hundred divines, I think that's a acceptable balance point, but I'm somebody who was very much enjoying Bulletstorm Witch Hunter with Nova projectiles, so I am of course biased.
The choice is go. This will help.
Same. I very much miss 0.3 Nova projectiles. Like, that Bulletstorm Witch Hunter was by far my favorite ARPG build I have ever played. I fucking loved that build. It was so much fun. Anyone who played the Bulletstorm Witch Hunter, like, they know what I'm talking about. That build was like... It was not a PoE 2 build. It was... You were playing a different game. It was fun. It was so, like, there were just so many projectiles on screen, but because it wasn't like... It was armor-piercing rounds and Culling Strike, it was like visual clarity. It was like you could actually see what was going on, kind of. It was so fun. But that patch also, like, the reason why that patch feels so, like, different is because we also had a lot more of movement speed penalty while attack reduction on the tree, you know? You could get, like, just super fast while attacking. The PoE servers have been struggling today, boys. And yesterday, too. Yeah, I'm not dropping frames. This ain't my internet.
The ritual has been disrupted.
In general, I like the balance of the lineage support gems right now. I think we need a lot more of them. But when I look at lineage support gems, like, even something like Garukin's Resolve, right? Like, Garukin's Resolve is super fucking powerful because of how good the crit meta is. But I feel like it's it's appropriate for the game because it gets, like, priced out well. Like, I think Garukin's is, like, one I could see them just, like, removing from the game just because crit is already so out of control. But I feel like the others are fine. I want more lineage support gems, if anything. Like, I want a lot more. But I don't look at any of the current ones and think... Like, okay, Dodre's... Or, whatever the curse one. Is it Dodre's? What is the lag we're getting? PoE servers are dying. Yeah, yeah, Garukin's is crazy. So, like, that's the one I look at. Like, it is appropriately priced. It is fucking expensive. But it is an insane mechanic. So I could see that. That's the only one I think of, like, off the top of my head. But I think I don't look at the Dodre's curse one as a problem. I look at cast on crit as a problem when I look at what that build's becoming. Like, that's a problem with cast on crit. So I don't even mind, like, Dodre's or anything. And, like, a lot of them are super build enabling. I think a lot of them need buffs. But, yeah, I don't look at, like, it's just Garukin's maybe that's just out of control. And that's just because crit in general is just the best stat in the game. I mean, exactly, Calmer. We just need more ways to scale crit. Or, excuse me, we need more ways to scale damage that isn't crit. Because, like, all roads lead to crit right now. It genuinely feels that way. All roads lead to crit. Brotato! Every road leads to crit. Unless you're playing an ED Con, like... Obviously, there's other examples, but, you know. I want to say probably 75% of my builds end up crit builds. Maybe closer to 66%. Either way, it's more than it should be. Rage is really good, too. The problem with, like, that, though, is... Rage is very good. I think Rage is a good example. Like, Rage is way more balanced than crit. The problem is, you can stack Rage and crit very easily. they just make each other so much more powerful. You're right, though. Rage is very good. Rage is an absurdly good scaler for attack skills. So, you're right there. But, you just get a lot more value out of crit than Rage. Like, because you can get, like, that Thorns build I just played. We had an 800% crit damage bonus. 800% crit damage bonus. Like, that's crazy. That's not okay. It was an Adorn build, so it was okay. It was a 15 mirror build, so it was okay, but... You can't, like, scale Rage to, like, 800%, you know? You get, like, I think it's like 20-something more or whatever. Which is still good, but there's a cap. And we talked about on the podcast, like, a good example of why crit is so out of control is, like, look at Sapphires. They double dip on crit. Prada has an Infernal, so 2k crit bonus? Yeah, that's unacceptable. That was easy.
That was an impressive.
Not gonna let myself get blazed.
Let's plan. The choice is made.
I just, like, I don't know how GGG gets them out of this, like, crit hole, though. Like... They would have to, like, fundamentally redesign so many interactions in the game. Because no matter what, almost every way you do damage in this game starts with a hit. You do a hit. And let's say you're doing ignite or poison. The way you do poison damage is by doing as big a hit as possible. And crit makes that hit just fundamentally bigger. So no matter what you're doing, poison, physical damage, ignite damage, like, if you're doing a hit, you're going to want it to hit hard. And crit just makes it hit hard. And I don't know a world where that's never just a default for many builds with how abundant crit is everywhere. Like, every weapon type has a base that has crit on it. The passive tree has crit everywhere. Jewels, like, double dip on crit. Like, I don't see how we get away from this. Like, without just reducing the amount of crit you can get violently. Which I think is a boring solution. Like, I think I'm okay with crit being okay. Or being overpowered. Just because, like, it just needs to be a little less abundant, I guess. But I feel like no matter what, just with how these ailments are designed, you're going to be going crit often with them. But even for non-ailment builds, like, you know, they're going to want to go crit, right? Like, if you're hitting, like...
Swift magnificence.
And I don't see a way you can, like... So the counter-argument would be, okay, so how do you scale other things to be as good? Let's say you try and make attack speed better. Well, when you're playing an attack speed build, you can go crit too. And then you're critting more. It's just like, I don't, like, with how abundant everything is, like, I feel like there just needs to be way more ways to do types of damage, but that just seems so far away. Like, I just feel like every patch is going to be a crit patch for the foreseeable future, until something fundamentally changes in the game. Like, and I don't think the solution is just making it less accessible until there's more things to access. Like, there would have to just be more ways to scale damage besides crit. And, not, like, and I don't just mean, like, more of what we currently have. We would need more flavors of doing types of damage or something, too. Like, for one reason, like, why is low life gone? Like, low life builds, it's hard. If you're having to invest heavily into low life, it's hard to invest into crit. And same with surround. Like, the constricting command builds, you rarely see a constricting command build, also a crit build. Because you're having to invest heavily into surround. So, like, I guess we just need, like, more of these types of things being viable. We need more surround stuff. We need Deepest Tower back for low life builds. Because nothing really competes with crit. We just, yeah, I guess that's the solution. Is just, we need more of this type of thing, because... crit, it makes sense, and I think it's good from a noob perspective, too. Maybe I'm wrong there, but does, like, an average noob look at crit and think, like, yeah, that makes sense? Or do noobs avoid crit because it's, like, scary reaching the crit cap? I would love to talk to a casual about how they approach crit. Because to me, crit is, like, very straightforward, but... there's, like, I know that the caps and, like, reaching cap can be confusing. It also does change on the build, too, because with spells, it gets more confusing. Because, like, fire spells have a different base crit than cold spells and lightning spells, and... well, I guess it just depends. But yeah, that makes sense. Because, yeah, my Constricting Command Witch Hunter I did earlier in the league, it wasn't scaling crit, and it had good DPS. And then, yeah, Deepest Towers were actually competitive with crit build. The problem is Deepest Tower was too easy to do, like, just by getting an Anoint and a Megalomaniac. And you could do it from, like, many different Ascendancies. They need to make it a little bit harder to invest into, but it still needs to have the same scaling potential it did. Because I don't know if you guys remember old Deepest Tower builds. They fucking pumped. But they were just very easy to achieve that pump. I think that level of pump is acceptable. You just gotta, like, make it a little bit harder to pull off. But I think low-life builds and surround builds are actually, like... they're good, but, like... those are definitely mechanics that are hard to approach for new players. Like, telling a new player, like, explaining, like, how the low-life mechanic works to them.
Swift magnificence.
Or, like, and then, like, having to explain, like, the surround mechanics to them without getting, like, the full uniques. Like, those are harder to approach than crit. So the problem is, like, Deepest Tower isn't even an option right now. I think if you were playing Titan, like, the bottom half of the tree, Deepest Tower was easier to do than crit. Like, doing a Deepest Tower build back then was, like... It's literally just get Deepest Tower and take these nodes right here. I think there was another cluster someplace else. It wasn't near as important. Like, this right here. Which one is it? Lucky Hits? This one. This right... Like, this passive alone is, like... it's so much damage potential. And it requires you getting an Anoint. At, like... Or just pathing through over here, you know? Like... This is way easier in investment-wise than crit, in my opinion, but... Crit's still pretty easy to do. To your point, yes. But Deepest Tower was, like, free, in my opinion. It was, like, really free. It should come back, though. Low-life builds are cool. Maybe I'll make a video talking about that. Where the fuck is this guy? Am I blind? Oh, he's right here. Holy shit. We need the Deepest Tower back. But yeah, I might make a video talking about, like, the crit problem from that perspective, that we need, yes, crit needs a nerf, but we just need more options. We need Deepest Tower back. We need, like, more reliable ways to play Surround. We need other mechanics like Surround and Deepest Low Life that, like... Like, Armor Break is a type of, like, ailment in that way, but, like, it's hard to scale, like, into Armor Break, so... That's if you're not a Warbringer. Armor Break's not bad, but it doesn't have the same potential. My problem with Jewels, like, I'm torn on Jewels Pro Tag because, like, I do enjoy the fuck out of them in PoE 1. In PoE 1, there are so many types of Jewels that, like, literally your entire endgame build is, like, completely transformed by having, like, 14 Jewels all just giving you, like, Ascendancy powers and, like, just crazy modifiers. And then you have the cluster Jewels, like... Part of me wants that in this game because of just how fucking awesome that customization is, but I don't know if they will because PoE 2 is supposed to be the baby game of the two. But my problem with the Magic and Rare Jewels is I don't think Rubies, Sapphires, and Emeralds are equally balanced in terms of the modifiers they get. I think that's my biggest gripe with Jewels right now. It's like the disparity between, like anytime I want to play a Ruby, it's like one of them is all like I always got some dead stats on it that are like it doesn't fucking matter. Like Emeralds can be pretty good, but like Sapphires are just like they are so much better. That if you're somebody who's stacking Sapphires, like, if you're stacking Sapphires, you can get Energy Shield, you can get crit damage bonus, you can get spell crit damage bonus, you can get wait, is elemental damage on Sapphires, or is that Rubies? I forget. You get minion damage, and you can get Energy Shield. Like, Sapphires are crazy. And then Rubies is like Thorns damage and Banner's duration. It's like, oh shit. Fuck yeah, Rubies do.
Beware the scorpion sting.
Let's watch that stinger.
Hey, I'm allowed to knock banners because I shit-talked thorns at the same time that I was talking about banners, alright? It's okay if I do some friendly fire. That was a really easy Ascendancy. We went straight in at level 59 when we completed the campaign, and yeah, that was a breeze. We had Enfeeble this whole time, too. That was easy with Enfeeble.
Perhaps you can challenge them.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, I really, like, we're still doing the armor breaker, but, like, this 40% more attack speed while dual wielding, like, it's just not worth it right now. Like, maybe if I get good one-hander. I bet you this is better with, like, axes or swords, but with maces, it's just not enough. Alright. We'll do Decimating Strike to help with the campaign clear on bosses and stuff. We might swap the Zealous Inquisition, though, if our clear needs some help. And then, I think at some point we won't have Culling Strike and Decimating Strike. It'll, like, full Ascendancy passives will be Zealous Inquisition with Sorcery Ward. And then the Weapon Master. This will eventually be dropped. I doubt we do No Mercy. This isn't the build for Concentration. I've done Concentration builds before. But no, it'd be probably Zealous Inquisition, Weapon Master. I like to do tanky builds, and if I end up armor stacking, which I might, then we'll want Sorcery Ward to help pair with it, just to make us tankier, but maybe we'll see what happens there. Oh, my game's like super lagged. I'm not gonna ID this stuff.
Let's plan.
Okay. About 20% Thorns Ruby yesterday. Probably didn't sell for much. I assume, Macho, that is because we are missing 3 Ascendancies for the bottom left of the tree, Templar, Marauder, and Duelist, and their classes will be bringing something that goes on rubies. So, like, if Marauder comes with, like, or, like, Retaliation something, or, like, a Retaliations with Gladiator or something, like, they might put Retaliation on the rubies. Like, that's my guess, is that, like, the classes that are adding more modifiers to rubies, their effects aren't in the game yet, but I have no fucking clue, man. Sapphires just have all the money. And so does Emeralds. Emeralds are fucking sick too, man. Emeralds have, like, but, like, Emeralds are full of, like, quarterstaff stuff, you know. Like, I think part of it is because, like, we're missing, like, axes and swords and flails, but I'm not sure. I am not sure. Alright, guys, that was a fun little 4-hour stream. We made it to Endgame. I will be probably not live tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm hanging out with some friends in the morning, and I got some work stuff to do at night. I will be live Monday, and probably every single day next week. And I will probably be live Monday through Friday from here on until launch. So, I'll be back Monday, more than likely. We'll be playing more of this character. I'm going to be sending you guys over to the Legend Prada. He went live 40 minutes ago, so go watch a really good player instead of me. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. This has been a really fun build to cook up. Again, this next week, the podcast will be on Friday instead of Thursday. I will be live streaming the reveal stream. And then some morning, I'm going to be waking up really early. Like, I'll be doing a very early AM stream. I'm going to do a collab with Miso. Well, I don't know about Miso yet, but definitely doing a collaboration with Rabbit. And with hopefully with Miso. So one of these mornings, I'll be doing some fun content in the morning. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. I will see you guys, you know, when I see you. Hang out with Prada. Bye.